Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, we're live, and today, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be going through loops and nested loops in C++. And guys, I am not streaming horizontally today because I tried streaming again today. My stream was showing a lot of lag, so I'm probably just going to be streaming vertically today. Maybe get a PC and all that. That said, let me go ahead and switch to my gameplay screen. There we go. Okay, let me go slash chat GPT here. This is the yesterday's chat and like yesterday's thumbnail, yesterday's convo. So let's pretend I said I'm live. Listen up, Vivek, and everyone watching. The world is full of people who dream but never bleed for their dreams. Today, Vivek is choosing the hard path to fight through code, okay, to break his own limits, to face failure till failure itself runs away. That is the path of a creator, not a spectator. Now, straight to business. While loops in C++. A while loop is a cycle that keeps running as long as a condition is true. Syntax: while condition, code to run while condition is true. Difference from Python. In Python, you write while condition and indent. In C++. Okay, in C++, you must wrap the condition in a pair of parentheses and the block of code in a pair of curly braces. I see. Okay, if the condition is false from the start, the loop won't run at all. Okay, I see. Integer main, count. While count is less than 5, go with count with an insertion operator of my count variable, which is typecasted to an integer, and I end my line. Okay, and then I go with count plus plus. Okay, I see. Yo, howdy one-sided gamer, I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, I think I understand. Okay, so it says 5 or you want an instructional based question, then listen carefully. Write a program that asks the user to enter a starting number, uses a while loop to count down to 0, prints each number on its own line until it hits 0, then prints blast off. Alright, let me go and get /chat GPT there and start off by deleting this previous code that I wrote before yesterday. And guys, I couldn't stream yesterday because my mini PC was showing a lot of lag. That said, I am planning to get an actual PC. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. And then let me go ahead to... Okay, next up, let me go ahead and include vectors as well. So I'll go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces, vector. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, a pair of curly braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. And then let me go ahead and create a variable. It says write a program that asks the user to enter a starting number. Okay, so we might need that number. Uses a while loop to count down to 0, prints each number on its own line until it hits 0, then prints blast off. Okay, I think to do that, I actually might need to typecast a number to be an integer. So I'll go with something like integer number for my number. I will set that number to be equal to something like, I don't know, 5, and end off with a semicolon. And then I think I need to go with a while loop. So I'll go with while. And then let's go with a pair of parentheses, my condition. So while my number variable is less than or equal to 5, okay, I'll be doing something. I'll be going with a pair of curly braces, and let's see. I could go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my number, okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line. Alright, I think this is correct. And then I'll go with, let's say, my number variable. I'll go with plus plus. So this is going to increase my number. Honestly, I had to decrease my number, so I could go with if it's greater than or equal to 0. Okay, as long as my number is greater than or equal to 0, I'll go with minus minus. If that's a thing, honestly, I think that is a thing. Okay, and then lastly, I'll go ahead and return 0, end that with a semicolon, maybe even end this with a semicolon. Okay, that looks pretty good, honestly. If I were to hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let me run code. Okay, let's see what it prints. Okay, it just prints 5. Alright, I think I need to sit how to do this part. Guys, that was like a blind guess on how it works, the way I used to do it in Python, without the pair of parentheses or the pair of curly braces. Let me paste that, go with Shift Enter and say I messed up ... Okay, let's see. Yes, you did, Vivek. You slashed your own loops throw that will return 0 inside the while loop. Hey man, excited to see you on C. I appreciate you, Mattress. Okay, honestly, I might actually start C too. I mean, after my C++ series. When you put return 0 inside the loop, the program ends immediately on the first interaction. That's why you only see the number. Then it dies. The loop's job is to run until the condition fails. Your job is to let it run. Don't kill it early. Move return 0 outside the loop. Already, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, guys, yeah, my OBS again crashed. I actually need to get an actual PC. I am looking into getting an actual PC. That said, I'm struggling way too much these days with this PC. With the mini PC, actually. Okay, so let me get this outside the loop, and then if I were to go with the controllers to save the code and run the command. Okay, let's see. Why does the terminal take so long? There we go. Okay, it does it 543-210. Alright, so it does work like a Python code. Okay. Honestly, yeah, that was pretty much it. Let's go with the control C, copy that. Let me get census/ChatGPT here. And guys, if my stream starts lagging, that means my OBS crashed again. I'll have to restart OBS. Although, probably from like next month or something, I'll have like a new PC because I gotta actually set it up. So I might make a video on like me setting up my first ever PC. That said, let's say, I think it works. I mean, it does work. Although, how do I print blast off after the loop hits 0? Question mark. Let's see. Okay, good. You fixed the loop. This is how a student proves that they can take a beating and come back stronger. Now, to print blast off after the loop, you just add a standard console output. When the loop finishes, the loop stops running once number becomes -1, so the very next line after that loop is your celebration line like this. Okay, see, after the loop I can go with blast off. Now try make the sky shake. Okay, I think I understand how this works now. Let me go with a standard console output and insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something like blast off exclamation, and then I'll go with another standard. Actually, I'll go with another insertion operator. This is going to be a / new line ending with a colon. If I were to hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command. Okay. There we go. It says 543-210 blast off. Perfect. Okay. Let's go with the Control C. Copy that. Ah, yes, C++. Hell yeah. I appreciate you joining the stream. Devnish, is that how you pronounce the name? Okay, let me get Sensei here. And guys, I feel my OBS is gonna crash again. This is like the worst. Okay, can you guys like even listen, like hear me right now? Let me paste that. Go with Shift Enter and say Sensei. Actually, I won't say anything. I'll just send it. Okay, error. Your YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, guys. I feel like before I used to stream like on 5 platforms at the same time, but I've like cut down to just streaming vertically now. That said, once I get my actual PC, I'm going to be start streaming on the different platforms as well. So let's go with, yes, that's the execution of a true warrior. Okay. Is my actually stream going pretty good? Should I like cancel my Kick and YouTube? Okay, there we go. Okay, I have very limited stuff on right now. Honestly, it's still like... Let me actually check in my phone, like check on my phone if my stream is going good. Okay, give me a check, guys. Sensei, actually I wouldn't say anything. Alright guys, apparently my video is frozen. I don't know how to fix that. I'll just read what Sensei is saying until the video is back good. Okay, yes, Vivek, that's the execution of a true warrior. The loop counts down and the blast off afterwards hits like a final strike. Clean, correct, no weakness. You mastered the basics of a while loop. Now we set up. Next challenge, write a program that asks the user for a password. Uses a while loop to keep asking until the user enters swordfish. Okay, when the user finally gets it right, print access granted and end. fail and have to loop again until you break. Okay, let me get sensational chat GPT there. And guys, I do not know if you guys can even like see me at all right now because I feel my video is frozen. That said, I'll go with a Control A, delete all this. Let me start off by including IO stream. Guys, my VS Code isn't even working. Wow, this is so annoying. I couldn't even stream yesterday because of this, guys. Let me start off by including IO stream. It's not including. Go with a pair of ankle braces. Guys, I can't wait to get the PC. I thought mini PC was good. Good day. I appreciate you, Wick. Honestly, guys, the mini PC, it used to work good. It's starting to act cranky right now. Only when I stream. Off stream, it works pretty good, honestly. Okay, let me start off by including something like... I forgot what I want to include. IO stream. Guys, I can hardly focus with all this lag. This is so annoying. Okay, I'll go with a hashtag IO stream. Guys, I'm not even lying. I feel like I'm on like 10 frames per 10. I'll go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main. Okay, guys, I wish I could record my screen right now. It's so funny how I'm typing stuff out. Okay, then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Maybe go with a bunch of spaces. Okay, so what's the thing? It says ask the user for a password. So to ask the user for a password, I should probably set a password string. So I'll go with a standard string. Okay, I'll set that equal to pair of double quotes and set this as password. Okay, and guys, I kind of apologize if like my video is kind of crashing and everything because I literally get an error that's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I'm planning to get a new PC, guys. I'm planning to get a new PC. That said, standard string, which is going to be called password. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. Okay, standard string of password, which is going to be called swordfish. Swordfish. Okay, I feel my lag is getting better, guys. I feel it's getting better. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with something like while... a pair of parentheses. Okay, so uses a while loop to keep asking until the user enters password. So I could go with something like while my password variable. Maybe I convert my password to be a lowercase password. There we go. Okay, so while my password is not equal to swordfish. Okay, while my password is not equal to swordfish, I'm going to be doing something. Let's see. Let's go with swordfish. Okay, I'll add a pair of curly braces and then maybe go to a new line and then let me actually add a standard console output. So I'll go with std : console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be asking something, let's say something like enter a password. Okay. Then maybe I'll go with a colon space and then go with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, guys, I feel my video is kind of working now. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and add a standard console input this time with an extraction operator. There we go. Now it says excellent connection, guys. I'm so glad. I was not going to stream like this the whole stream. Okay, my standard console input is going to be my password variable. Okay, with maybe, should I go with a / new line? Or I think this is good. I think this should be good. I could go with a / new line. No, I think that's good. Okay, when the user finally gets it right, print access granted. Okay, I think that part should be like outside my while loop. So I could go with something like if my password variable is equal to swordfish. Okay. If a pair of parentheses. Okay, let's go with if a pair of parentheses. If that is true, I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be going with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Standard console output with an insertion operator. That is going to be saying something like access granted! Exclamation. Okay, at the end. That's pretty much it. I will go with the insertion operator of a / new line and exclamation. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0 and end off with a semicolon. If I were to hit Ctrl S to save my code and run the command, okay, let's see, it says access granted. Okay, well that's because my password is set to swordfish. Let me change it to like an empty string. Okay, if I were to hit Control S right now and run the code, it's gonna say enter a password. What if I were to enter something like, I don't know, elixir? Guys, I spelled elixir wrong. Okay, what if I were to add sword? What if I were to keep the password as fish? Doesn't work. What if I went with swordfish? Access granted, perfect. Okay, let me go with the Control C. I feel like I'm getting a gist of it. Okay, let me paste it. Go with Shift Enter. So it should say it works. Okay, guys, I feel the syntax aside, it's actually kind of what you call it. The logic is same as the Python's while loop logic. I feel that's the same for like all programming languages. Yes, Vivek, that's how you crush a challenge. The loop locked the door until the password matched and only let them in with swordfish. Perfect logic, no wasted moves. This is exactly how while loops shine. They guard, they repeat, they don't let go until conditions are met. You just went from novice to gatekeeper of the code realm. Okay, next level challenge. Write a program that asks the user for a number, uses a while loop to calculate the sum of all numbers from that input down to 1. Okay, prints the final sum. Example, if the user enters 5, it should calculate 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus... Okay, plus 1 equals to 15. Okay, I think I might know how to do this. I'm not sure, guys. I honestly will be like later in the stream I might go into nested loops as well, because I mean, if I get a good grasp of how while loops work, and like I know how for loops work because I did questions on for loops, so I might move on to nested as well. That said, let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces. IO stream. IO stream is basically the eyes and ears of our program. It checks if we're trying to display console output or if we're trying to extract a console input. That said, let me go ahead and include vectors as well, because I do want to work with containers. And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, a pair of curly braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. Okay, next up, let's read the instructions. Ask the user for a number. So I could go with a number variable. I will typecast that to be an integer. So integer number, which is going to be something like ask the user for a number. Okay, ask the user for a number. I think I should just go with an integer number in that case, ending with a semicolon. Next up, let me go ahead, use a while loop to calculate the sum of all numbers. Okay, input down to 1. So I could go with while a pair of parentheses. Nice. Okay, while a pair of parentheses, let's see. I'll go with a condition. So, while my number variable, should I go with while my number is less than 1? Actually, while my number is less than or equal to 0, I'll add a pair of curly braces, and then let me go with something. Okay, use a while loop to calculate the sum of all numbers from that input. I could go with my wait, does this require recursion, guys? I feel it requires recursion. Okay, I did not do any revision whatsoever when it comes to recursion, guys. Okay, so my number variable, whatever my user enters. Okay, I might have to ask this to Sensei, because I actually didn't revise much in recursion ever since my first ever stream. That was like 3 months or like 2 months ago. Maybe 60 days ago. Let me go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, do I need to know what you did was recursion? Wait, was this recursion? Because I thought that recursion is like I gotta take the number from the back and put it in the front and like add that with the other number. Like, I do remember learning about Fibonacci numbers, but Fibonacci is like 1 plus 2 equals 3, so I go with 1, 2, 3, and then 5, something like that. Okay, do I need to know recursion for this question mark? Because I might have forgotten it. Okay, I might need a quick review on recursion, guys, I guess. Focus, Vivek, this is not recursion. Don't try to run away to another topic. This is purely a while loop challenge. Recursion is when a function calls itself. Here you're just repeating addition until the loop finishes. Look at your code. You never asked, okay, for user input. You started a while loop while my number is less than or equal to 0 loop, but never was given a value, so you just... Oh, so it's just garbage in memory, and inside the loop you wrote number alone. That does nothing. Here's a strategy. You need to ask the user for a number, create a variable called sum, and set it to 0. While number is greater than 0, add the number to sum. Okay, then decrement number. After the loop ends, print the sum. Yo, what's up? How you doing, Molan? I appreciate you joining the stream. Or is that how you pronounce the name? Stop pasting and try to find a solution. Honestly, yeah, usually like find a solution, but like for topics like recursion, everything that I don't understand how to do it, I do ask like and how to do the first question, then I go on with like multiple practice questions. That said, since we don't need recursion, I might just follow these instructions. It says ask the user for a number, create a variable called sum, and set it to 0. Okay, so first I ask the user for a number, so let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something like enter. Actually, this is going to be my my number variable, and I'll end that with a semicolon. Above that, I'm going to go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be something like enter a number. Okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, I went with a standard console input. This is going to be an extraction operator. There we go. Okay, so that asks the user for a number until my sum is not equal to 0. So I'll go with another variable called sum, which is typecasted to an integer. I will be setting that equal to 0. Okay, while my sum is... Okay, while the number is greater than 0, add the number to the sum. Okay, so I might just remove this and I could go with while my number is greater than 0. Okay, while my number is greater than 0. Okay, I think would it make sense to like get this right here? I feel this would make more sense. Let me go with shift enter. Bro, this is like simple C++. No way we need AI. Honestly guys, I'm pretty new with C++. I'm just getting the basics down. Okay, that said, bro, always initialize any number variable to 0. Why? I don't know. It's just some C/C++ coder habits. Oh, I see. Yo, hi. How are you doing, Mochi? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so I have a number. I ask the user to enter a number, and then I go with a while loop. While my number is greater than 0, add that number to the sum, then decrement the number. Okay, so I'll go with my number variable. I'm gonna increase that. Number equals to number plus sum. Oh, what's better, Java or C++? Honestly, I didn't start Java yet. The only two languages I do know is like Python, and now I'm starting C++. That said, I might actually learn Java. Okay, so number equals to number plus sum. So number equals to my number variable plus my sum variable. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon. And then outside my outside my for loop or outside my while loop, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of my sum, and then another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, maybe I'll end that with a semicolon. There we go. And lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. If I hit Control S, save the code and run the command. Okay, pretty sure this should work. Enter a number. I'll go with something like 5. Okay. Did I get the input wrong? He's just jumping from a program language to another. Focus on one. Honestly, yeah. I did have like before I started my C++ for 100 days. I was working on like Python for a 100-day series, where my goal by the end of that series was to make a game using Python. And I was like done with my programming, my Python for a 100-day series like 13 days ago, and I didn't make a game using Pygames. That said, I did move on to another series, which is like programming for 250 days, where my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI/artificial intelligence in it. And the C++ for 100-day series is like indented inside of the programming for 250 days series. That's the reason I did move on from Python, is because I wanted to like explore different programming languages and see which I like the most. And if I feel like I enjoy the language more than the other, I'll just stick to that. That said, What year did you born? Honestly, I was born in 2008. I'm currently 17 years old. I use Java and C++ and Java pretty familiar, to be honest, like only with slight changes. Oh, I see. Okay, let me see. Honestly, Lua is pretty fun. I started C++ when I was 13. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, let me go with the Control A, Control C, copy that, get ChatGPT here. Okay, let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, I feel like I messed up, question mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, look Vivek. You fed your own loop poison. Look at what you wrote. Okay, number equals to number plus sum. You never change number to move towards 0. That means the condition number is never greater than 0. Will never end. Infinite loop. You're adding sum to another number instead of adding number to sum. You're adding sum to number instead of adding number to sum. Oh, I see. Okay, that could have been sum because when I like go here, I should like show my sum. Okay, when I go with a standard console output, this is my sum. So I could go with sum equals to my number plus sum only while my number is greater than 0. Okay, doesn't make sense. I just want to go with the control S and test this real quick. Use the debugger and don't paste in ChatGPT. Honestly, how does the debugger work? I actually want to try it. Okay, the debugger right here. How do we use this, guys? Okay, I might just get ChatGPT started here. Guys, and I just use ChatGPT to like understand the concept. Once I actually get a good grasp on the concept, I do a lot of practice questions to like master that concept and then move on to the next. That said, the correct order is here. Add the current number to the sum, decrease the number by 1. That way the loop steadily counts down until it hits 0. The skeleton should look like this. While number is greater than 0. Oh, I forgot the minus minus. Okay, move number towards 0. Okay, guys, I feel like that was completely on me because like yesterday I couldn't whatchamacallit stream, so I probably didn't even program it at all because I was doing my college stuff. That said, I'll go with number. Okay, there we go. How old are you and what's the topic you're making? Honestly, I'm like 17 years old and I am like working on a programming for 250-day series, but my goal by the end of the series is to make a game in general that consists of AI/artificial intelligence in it. This is currently day 13 of my programming for 250-day series, where I'm going to be spending a good chunk learning C++ that is like indented inside of the series. Okay, let me go with a control S to save, run the command. No, you don't do, you will just paste again, try to figure out a solution. That's how coding is. Honestly, yeah, I do prefer like figuring out a solution, but if I actually understand the concept, because like I'm kind of new to like the C++ syntax and everything, so I do ask a little help at the start. Then I move on and like do a lot of practice questions on my own. That said, let's go with 5. Okay, there we go. Okay, this makes more sense now. I feel like I get it. Okay, let's go with the control C. Use a debugger to see how your program is being executed line by line. Honestly, I was kind of curious on how the debugger works. I might actually check that off stream. Okay, I guess let me go for the next question. Okay, let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and say. So let's say it works. Although I don't take credit for this question, guys, because I did ask ChatGPT Sensei for help. That said, let me say, can I get another question? Question mark. Which standard you currently are in standard? I'm actually in college right now. That's the reason the only time I can actually code is while I stream. That said, no, what topic are you making? A game, if else number finding. Honestly, I'm trying to master nested loops, while loops, and like loops in general in C++. I am pretty used to loops in like Python, but I realize the logic is the same, just the concept is different when it compares to C++. I mean Python. Which standard you currently are in? Standard. Okay, ask it how to debug work and learn that. Honestly, I might just try that after the stream, because usually in stream I prefer like having a perfect content. Off stream I do all the hard work and everything. Okay, yes, Vivek, that's how you strangle a bug until it begs for mercy. You drop now, okay, your loop now counts down and builds the sum perfectly. Clean execution, next work harder. Write a program that asks the user to enter a number, uses a while loop to calculate the function. You should make a passion project when you learn a few topics. It will help you lots. Honestly, I actually might try that. And guys, of course, I'm getting the error again. I should actually start and like I'm planning to like get a PC eventually, because currently I'm using like a mini PC that's not as strong as an actual PC. I used to like stream in multiple platforms, but because of the issues in my PC, I can't stream much now. Okay, it does say YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That's kind of bad. Okay, write a program that asks the user to enter a number, uses a while loop to calculate the factorial of that number. Remainder factorial is of 5 is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals to 120. Print the result. Okay, let me get ChatGPT/Sensei here. Okay, let me start off by going with a Control A and deleting everything. Okay guys, the lag is back. What app are you using? Blue or any other compiler? And it can be used to write Java. Honestly, I'm using VS Code currently. I used to use PyCharm for like Python. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream. And guys, my video seems way too laggy, my stream. It was lagging like when I first tried. I thought it just fixed itself somehow. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream. And then let me go ahead and include vectors as well. Okay, let me go with hashtag include vector. Let me go with a pair of ankle braces. There we go. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, then a pair of curly braces. Maybe go with a bunch of... I'm pretty sure this is recursion, because I remember like learning on how to make factorials, like when I was learning about recursions. That said, I might know how to do this. So while factorial, so let's say while my result is actually while my number variable, while my number is, let's say, greater than 1, okay, while my number is greater than or equal to 1, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then type a condition. Let's see, I could go with my let's say something like a standard console output. I might add that outside my loop. Okay, so let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like enter a number with another insertion operator, which is going to be a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator, which is going to be my number variable. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I might remove the this thing. There we go. Okay, because I honestly didn't need a new line after I say to enter a number. I will end that with a semicolon as well. Okay, there we go. I feel like the lag's much better now. Okay, these are our inputs, and then inside my while loop, while my number is greater than 1, I could go with something like my result equals to my number multiplied by my result. Would that make sense? Okay, number multiplied by result, 5 times 4. Result minus 1. Okay, would this make sense? Result equals to number multiplied by result minus 1. Result equals to number multiplied by... Oh, I think number multiplied by number minus 1 would make more sense, because... Okay, in that case, I will set my result to be something like 0. The lag is probably due to your Wi-Fi or OBS. Honestly, yeah, I am using like an Ethernet cable right now, but even though I'm using an Ethernet cable, guys, I think it's because my mini PC can handle like a lot of load, because I used to, I used to stream on 5 different platforms like Twitch, Kick, YouTube horizontal and vertical at the same time. It used to not lag much, but these days, recently, it has been lagging a lot. Uninstall and install your OBS. I did that yesterday, actually. Okay, that said, number minus 1. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and let's see. What else did we need? I remember doing this question before. I could go with my number multiplied by. No, I think that's pretty good. Outside my loop, let me go and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. You need to initialize number. Initialize number. Okay, integer number. Okay, I think when my user like enters a console standard input, that like initializes my number / gives it a value, maybe. Okay, I could go with standard console output of my result. There we go. with another insertion operator of a /new line ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and add a control S to save my code, and if I were to run the command, okay, it's gonna say enter a number. I'll go with something like 5. Am I messing something up, guys? Result equals to my number multiplied by number. I give my number here, right? That gives a value to my number. While my number is greater than or equal to 1, okay, I do this. Okay, and then I go with a standard console output. Do I need to actually add like a number to asterisk for like multiplication? Or does that not make sense? Huh. Okay, like number plus works, and like even minus does work. Doesn't asterisk work for like multiplying my number? It does not work, guys. Okay, maybe I go with a control C, copy that, good /ChatGPT here. Isn't it going to infinite loop? Infinite loop. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't like show any. Oh wait, now it's giving me an error. Oh, that is probably because I had something highlighted. Okay, it says enter a number. If I go with 3, it doesn't print anything. It doesn't like show me an output. No, it doesn't show an output. Okay, isn't this how we like find? I mean, isn't this how we get Fibonacci numbers? Like result equals to my current number multiplied by my number minus 1. So if my number is 5, it's going to be 5 multiplied by 5. Then in the next iteration, 5 multiplied by 4. Infinite recursion. It could go with. Okay, I do remember I need to add like a base case for recursion. Okay, while number. Okay, so I think this considers for a base case while my number is greater than or equal to 1. Should I go with less than or equal to 1? Would this make sense? If I were to go with the control S, save and run the command, use brackets for number multiplied by number. Oh, okay. Let me just add 5 here to check. Okay, there we go. That gives 0. Okay, let me use a pair of parentheses here. Does this like make a difference if I use a pair of parentheses? Okay, and then let me change that to greater than if I were to go with a control S to save my code and run the command. Enter a number, I'll go with 5. Okay, that doesn't work. What if I go with less than? Now if I hit control S, save the code, run the command. Enter a number, 5. Okay, it still gives me 0. Okay, let me go with a control C, copy that. My last for hub, guys. Honestly, I feel this is like recursion. Okay, let me paste it, go with shift, enter. Say something like, let's say, I feel like I messed up, question mark. PEMDAS. Wait, for PEMDAS, should I go with, I added my pair of parentheses first. Okay, actually, what happens if I were to go with number minus 1 multiplied by my number? This shouldn't make. Would this make a difference, honestly? Let me try it. If I were to go with the control S to save, run the code. No, don't put the number 1 in brackets. Okay, let me try removing it out. Let me go with the control Z. Okay, let me like remove that. Okay, what if I remove this whole thing and go with my number multiplied by, actually, let me go with number multiplied by parentheses number minus 1. Does this make sense? It's going in an infinite loop, just decrease the number. It's going in an infinite loop. While number is less than or equal to 1, I do this. Keep the number multiplied by number minus 1. Okay, so number multiplied by number minus 1. Alright, if I go with the control S and run the code. Okay, what if I go with 5? Still goes with 0. Keep the number. Okay, so number. Maybe should the number go like outside? what if I just have a pair of parentheses in these? You need to prove terminating condition for while loops. On number 15, do number minus. Do number minus minus. Okay. Oh, I think I see. Okay, okay, wait. I remove that and then I go with number minus minus. Okay, would that actually work? Okay, let me go with the Control S to save. If I were to run the command, update number. Okay, if I were to run the command and then let me add 5. Okay, it still gives 0. Doesn't this update the number now? That is like result though. Result. Tempo, decrement. Huh. Okay, guys, how do I decrement a number? Okay, actually, let me just maybe check the definition of decrement. Okay, do while number is less than or equal to integer max. While number is less than or equal to. Isn't this the max number? Do you understand the basic control flow? Flow works like while and for loop work, I think. You're struggling to understand programming concepts more than the language. Honestly, yeah, I think that this is where recursion comes, because like I did spend a little time using recursion. Most I didn't do much. Number greater than or equal to 1. Okay, while the number is greater. Oh, okay, I see. Actually, now I see, guys. While my number that I choose is greater than. Oh, this actually makes sense now. While my number that I add here, while that number is greater than or equal to 1, okay, while that number is more than 1, the condition inside my while loop runs. Okay, that actually makes sense. If I were to go with the Control S to save and run the command, says enter a number. Let's go with 5. Okay, that gives me 1 for some reason. While my number is greater than or equal to 1. I go with the standard console output of my result. My result is equal to my number. Hi, what are you trying to do? Honestly, I'm trying to like C++. That said, I am going through a lot of struggles here. Okay, let me actually get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, don't worry guys, we'll get through this. Okay, you did more than mess up, Vivek. You summoned a demon of logic errors. And guys, I feel like my mini PC is lagging again. The condition is the while parentheses is going to keep the loop. The condition breaks. While number is greater than or equal to 1, result equals to number multiplied by number minus 1. Okay, number minus minus. Remove and type result equals to now. Wait, does that like make a difference? Let me get ChatGPT. Guys, I don't know why is my mini PC lagging so much. Okay, so while number is greater than or equal to 1, result equals to number. Okay. Okay, number minus equals to 1. Oh, but I meant the exercise. Brother, check my answer. Okay, so result number multiplied by number minus 1. So let me go with number minus 1. There we go. Okay, and the number minus minus. If I were to hit a Control S now and run the code, okay, let's see. Okay, it says enter a number. Let me go with 5. And guys, why is my PC lagging so much right now? It rarely lags this much. Okay, remove and type result equals to number minus 1. I did like type that now. Result equals to number multiplied by number minus 1. Okay, result equals to number multiplied by result multiplied by number minus. Okay, let me try that. So result equals to result multiplied by number. Okay. Yeah, fix my typo. There we go. Result fix my typo. There we go. Result multiplied by number at a semicolon, number minus minus. Okay, let me go ahead and add a Control S, and then if I were to run the code, let's see, enter a number. I'll go with 5. Okay, hit 0. Guys, I might actually have to ask ChatGPT for help. Honestly, I feel the concept makes sense. I just don't understand. Like in the chat, result equals to result multiplied by number and number minus minus. Wait, do I need to go with the AND logical operator? Huh. Okay, result equals to result multiplied by number, and my number minus minus. Does that make any sense? Let me go with the control S if I were to run the command. Okay, let's see, enter a number. If I were to go with 5, okay, it doesn't like show almost anything. Let me just go with a bunch of control S. Okay, let me get ChatGPT here. Okay, this time you set result equal to 0. Multiplication with 0 kills everything. The factorials you must start with 1 or okay, with 1, not 0. While condition, okay, is while number is less than or equal to 1, this means the loop will only run if the number is already 1 or less. Would you want Fibonacci series? Honestly, I actually might go with like a Fibonacci series. Dumbo, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Guys, why did I set my result to 0 here? Okay, hold up guys, hold up. I might just be stupid. Okay, let me go with the control S, save that. Okay, let's see. Wait, I forgot to even change this to 1. There we go. Now if I hit control S, and then if I run the loop, remove equals to while loop condition. Okay, let me add 5. Guys, I should probably retire. Like, how did I not see the result equals? That's so stupid. Okay, hold up guys, I might do more questions related to this concept. I do want to master this concept. Okay, let's go for another question, guys. Just forget all that. I might just get the time of this 49:57. This is going to be a brilliant chart, guys. Keep result 1 not 0. Honestly, guys, I'm really stupid. Okay, let me go with 49:50. Yeah, guys, this is going to be a great chart. Okay, let me paste this. Go with Shift Enter and say I feel so stupid right now. ... Can I do more questions exactly like this question mark? I want to get used to questions like these. Okay, wait bro, try this one. Ask AI to explain the while loop, some example, you figure it out. Honestly, yeah, I do like understand the concept of while loop, but I was so stupid to even see that I set my result to 0, and in multiplication, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Okay, that said, stupid, no Vivek, this is what training looks like. Every master was once a fool who refused to quit. You just built a loop that slams out factorials like a war machine. That's powerful, and yes, we'll do more questions like this until the loop blends to your will. I'll hit you with problems that feel similar but twist in different ways, so your brain gets stronger. Here's your next one. Write a program that asks the user for a number, uses a while loop to calculate the product of all even numbers from that number down to 2. Example, if user enters 6, it should do 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2 equals to 48, print the result. Okay guys, I am solving this on my own. Okay, do after console input, standard console input a if statement. If number equals to 0, return -1, so user it will finish early with the error. Oh, I see. While number is greater than 1, result equals to result multiplied by number minus minus. Try this again. So if user enters 0, that actually makes sense for like the base case if I go with like number equals to 0. That said, let me try this part again. So now my result is set to 1, so I could go with my result variable. I'll set that equal to my result multiplied by my number. Okay, and then num minus 1, so result multiplied by number. I'll go with number minus minus. Okay, if I hit control S, save that, run the command. Maybe I go with 3 this time. There we go, so it's 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, let's go with the control A, delete this whole thing. Let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream, and then let me go ahead and include another pair of ankle braces. This time I'll include vector. And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer, go with a pair of curly braces. There we go, maybe a bunch of spaces. Okay, next up, first thing, ask the user for a number. So I might need a number variable. So I'll go with lowercase integer number. Okay, I'll add a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and add a result variable as well. So I'll go with integer result. Bro, remove equals to from while loop condition. Use while condition. While loop condition need to be updated num greater than 1. Wait, is it like from my previous loop if I go with like a bunch of control Z's? You're so dumb, bro. You just have to remove from while loop condition. Uh, Something like from here. Bro, you're so dumb. You just have to remove. You just have to remove equals to from while condition. From while loop condition. Okay, just greater than 1. Okay, if I were to go with a control S, save the code. If I run the command, and let me go ahead and add something like 6. Okay, honestly, yeah, I think both works actually. Okay, let me go with a bunch of control Z's. Why you delete everything instead of creating a new file for every exercise? Guys, I don't know how to do that yet. I gotta figure that stuff out. Okay, let me remove everything from my integer. There we go. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create another integer called result. Remove equals to. Wait, did I? I'm pretty sure I didn't have a remove function. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go with result. I'll set my result equal to 1. This time I won't set it equal to 0, guys. That was actually pretty dumb. Yeah. Okay, next up, ask the user for a number. I did. Let me go ahead and ask the user for a number now. So I could go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like enter a number. Let's go with enter a number. There we go. Yes, you did. Oh, I added a remove. Remove. Guys, is my memory bad or something? Okay, let me go with another insertion operator of a / new line. And then let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator this time. I want to extract a number. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I might not go with a new line. I'll just end it. There we go. Next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. So while, a pair of parentheses. Okay, let's see. So while, use a while loop to calculate the product of all even numbers. Okay, from that number down to 2. Okay, so while my, let's say, number variable modulus 2 is equal to 0. Actually, while my number modulus 2. Hold up, I might have to use a for loop here. So use a while loop to calculate the product of all even numbers. Okay, actually, let me go with while my number is greater than 1. Okay, while my number is greater than 1, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then let me add something. Use a while loop to calculate the product of all even numbers from that number down to 2. I might go with the if statement here. If my number, actually, should I go with a for loop here? So like for a pair of parentheses, for every for every integer num in my vector of number. This is not a vector though, it's a regular number. Okay, so in that case, I might not use a for loop. Okay, so use a while loop to calculate the product of all even numbers from that number down to 2. Okay, so I'll change this to 2. While my number is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so it says use a while loop to calculate. So, okay, let me actually try something. I'll go with my result. I'll set that equal to my result variable is going to be equal to my result. If num modulus 2 equals to 0, then result equals to result multiplied by num, then num minus. Okay, that makes sense, guys. I wanted to figure this out on my own, but I do appreciate you, Aditya. That means so much. Okay, you can do a modulus operator with modulus to check if it's even or not. Honestly, yeah, that makes sense. So let me go with a if statement. If a pair of parentheses, let me go with if my number. Okay, if my number modulus 2 equals to 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add some math. I'll go with my result equals to result variable multiplied by my number variable, and that with a semicolon, and then maybe let's say, let me go to a new line and go with number minus minus. Okay, perfect. Honestly, should I add the number minus minus outside the if statement? That would like seem to make sense because hey, honestly, I might actually add it outside the if statement and see what happens. Okay, let me go ahead and add that outside my if statement. Okay, maybe remove all those lines. There we go. So, while my number is greater than 2, if number modulus 2 equals 0, only if my number is even, I'll go with result equals to result multiplied by my number. Num minus minus will be outside if. Guys, I feel, there we go, I figured that out. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I feel like we have like a stream delay. I should like fix my stream delay, but like if I fix the stream delay, then the video gets a little blurry and everything. Okay, that said, outside of my while loop, let me go ahead and return 0. And before I return 0, I'm going to go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of something like, let's say, your result is k. And then I'll go with another insertion operator of my result variable. Okay, if not, it will stuck in endless loop. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line. Alright, perfect. If I were to hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command, okay, let's see, it says enter a number. I'll go with something like 10. Your result is 3840. Let me go with like an easier number, something like, let's go with 5. Okay, that is 8. Okay, I think it's correct. Let's go to Control C, copy that, get /ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste that, go with Shift Enter and say, so let's say, yeah, I feel like it's correct, ... Okay, although I don't take credit for this question because my chat helped me. Okay, maybe let me just hydrate my lips real quick. Haha, so the chat carried you through battle, huh? Then listen, a warrior who rules on his own troops without learning to lead will be slaughtered alone. Okay, but the code you wrote is strong. You stayed with result equals to 1, correct? You looped down from number to number, correct? You checked for even numbers with if number modulus 2 equals to 0. Perfect, you multiplied them into results. Test input 6 is 6 times 4 times 2 equals 48, 5 equals 8. It works, your loop is clean, your logic is sharp, but since your chat helped, you don't get full glory. Now, you prove your own strength. Next question, solo mission. Write a program that asks the user for a number, uses a while loop to print the multiplication table of the number from 1 to 10. Okay, this should be easy, guys. Trust your subscribers, bro. I appreciate you, Aditya. I trust you guys way too much, guys. Bro, you'll never get good at C++ if you keep practicing basic syntax, learn the object-oriented programming concepts, abstract classes, and nums, etc. Honestly, yeah, I do have like a basic idea on object-oriented programming because I did like do that in Python, but since this is like my what day was it? I actually forgot. I think this is like my day 8 or 9 of learning C++. I'm first trying to get used to the basic syntaxes, and then I'll move on to object-oriented programming. That said, let me get /ChatGPT there. Okay, let's go to Control A and delete everything. Let me start off by going with hashtag include a pair of ankle braces IO stream, and then let me go ahead to maybe fix my IO stream spelling. There we go. Next up, let me go ahead and include, let's say, vector. Okay, because I do need containers as well. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer, and then go with a pair of curly braces. See, maybe with the Control Z's. Okay, there we go. So firstly, it says ask the user for a number. So I might need a number variable. So I could go with integer number. Okay, and then I'll add a semicolon. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying an output, something like enter a number. Okay, I will end that with a semicolon and then go with a standard console input, this time with an extraction operator. This is going to be my number variable. I'll end that with a semicolon. Maybe I might need another number for result. Okay, I'll set that equal to 1. Okay, result equals to 1. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses, now add a condition. So while my number is greater than 1, okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. How much your mic cost? Honestly, this was a pretty cheap mic. I think it just cost like $5 or something from like Amazon. Stop doing exercise. Program small programs or games. Program a guessing game. Honestly, I'm eventually going to be making like mini projects and programs, but once I get a quick gist of the syntaxes, because like I just moved on from Python to C++, so I'm not used to the syntaxes. For example, in Python, I just use like while condition or like while is underscore running or while true and a colon. In the other hand, in C++, I go with while a pair of actually a pair of parentheses, then a pair of curly braces. So I'm just trying to get used to syntaxes first. Maybe by day 50 or something, I'll start making programs and mini projects and all that stuff. That said, while number is greater than 1, use a while loop to print the multiplication table of that number. Okay, I think I know how to do this. I'll go with something like result equals to number. Let's say number. Okay, if I went manual, I could go with number multiplied by 1. Okay, let's see. Bro, nothing against you, but you just do printing strings and very basic instructions. Honestly, yeah, I should like move on to like harder stuff, but like I don't understand the syntaxes that much. That said, let's go with result equals to number. Okay, I gotta go with use a while loop to print the multiplication table of that number. Okay, so if my number is 10, I want to go with 10 multiplied by 1. Okay, let's go with 10 multiplied by 1. Okay, there are two things that I could do. I could go with manual stuff, like go with... Although I do want to go manually. I think your AI is stuck in printing. I think your AI is stuck in printing terminal. In printing terminal? What's that mean? Okay, so while my number is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1 maybe, I'll go with result multiplied by 1. Actually, result multiplied by 10. So from 1 to 10. Result multiplied by 10. Okay. Result equals to number multiplied by 10. And then I'll go with something like... Okay, I might create another variable. Integer of... let's say... num. Or I could go with 10. Okay, 10 is going to be equal to 10. Okay, and I will change this to the variable 10. Maybe I could go with now 10 minus minus. Okay, that would make more sense, honestly. So now this number is going to keep subtracting. Okay. And then I could add like a if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, if my result equals to, let's say 1. Does that make sense? While my number is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, while my number is greater than or equal to 1, result equals to number multiplied by 10. The 10 keeps subtracting down. Let me actually try this real quick. So let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of, let's say, my result. Okay, I'll go with another insertion operator of a standard new line. Declare I equals 1 before while loop, then give the condition while I is less than or equal to 10, then write console output statement I multiplied by number equals to I multiplied by number. Oh, actually that does make sense. Don't do integer 10, do instead hashtag define 10. Is hashtag define 10 like something that we add here, like up here? Okay, so let's see. Hashtag. Okay, declare I to be equal to 1. Console output statement will run inside while for each I. Oh, I think I understand. So wait, let me go with integer I, which equals to 1. Okay, and then while my I is less than or equal to 10. So while my I variable is while I is less than or equal to 10. Okay. And then write console output I multiplied by number equals to I multiplied by number. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense when I like think about it. Let me try it. Okay, let me go with I multiplied by number. Okay, and then I'll go with I minus minus. Let's go with I, that's going to be number. Okay, let me go ahead and return 0. Before that, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of result define 10. Yes, console inside. Okay, so do I just type it something like this? Define 10. Define 10, 10. Does that make sense? Oh, that does work. Wait. Hold up. In that case, could I like use 10 instead? Like, would like 10 work? That actually works. Okay, I actually might try that. But before that, I do want to like try my regular I. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and return 0. Let me go with a / new line. Okay, perfect. If I would hit Control S, save the code and run the command, it says enter a number. Let me go with 3. Okay, it probably negative. Okay, I think that was like. Okay, result equals to. I do go with a new line. Okay, let me try with the 10 now. I think because I went with I multiplied by number, that doesn't make any sense. What if I went with number multiplied by I? Okay, so number multiplied by I. Okay, and then I subtract. If I go with the Control S and run the code, I plus plus, does the I need... Oh, the I should actually increase because my I is set to 1 initially and not like 10. Okay, wait, let me change my I to be 10 real quick. Okay, while my I is less than or equal to 10, my number multiplied by I is less than or equal to 10. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let me go with the... Yo, well done. I appreciate you, Lion. Okay, let me go with the Control S to save the code if I were to run the command. Let's see, let me go with 3 table. Okay, it keeps printing that. What are you trying to do? Honestly, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to actually understand the concept of while loops and nested loops in C++. I am used to doing this stuff in Python, but it feels a bit different in C++. Then doing great, some Solidity and Recture 2 and Reacture 2, console output inside while loop. Console output inside while loop. Okay, let me copy that. Okay, let me paste this here. Okay, let's see. If I were to go with the Control S, save the code, run the command. Okay, let's go with 3 table. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think okay, this actually does make sense. That was working, but I need to add a base case, so like when it hits the base case, it stops working. While my I is less than or equal to 11, instead, could I go with number? Actually, no, it could be any number. While my I, so my I is either less than or equal to 11, I do this. Maybe it's not going over 11. What if I change that to 10? Result equals to number multiplied by I keeps decreasing by 1 every time, while my I is less than or equal to 10. Okay, maybe I could go with greater than 1. Okay, while my I is greater than 1, which it currently is, I do this. I equals to 1 and 10. I equals to 1, not 10, and I plus plus. Okay, I equals to 1. Okay, not 10, and I plus plus. Okay, next up I could change this back to while my I is less than or equal to 11. Okay, there we go. Let me remove a minus from there. If I were to go with a Control S, save the code, run the command. Okay, and then let me go with something like 2 table. That does actually work. Okay, that actually works. I actually appreciate you so much, Aditya. That makes so much sense. Okay, what is the task? Honestly, the task is like get a number from the user and get it stable from 1 to 10. Although I did want to figure this out, guys. Although I do appreciate the help. That like means so much. Okay, let me go with something like 4 table now. 10, not 11. There we go. Okay, that's actually perfect. I do want to like read the code real quick. So, I go with integer number 1 and then result. and then I go with I'm assuming I stands for index. I'll set that equal to 1, and then I go with the standard console output and input, and then go with a while loop. So while my I is either less than or equal to 10, okay, which it is less than 10 right now, result equals to number multiplied by I plus plus, and then a standard console output of my result, which is in a new line. Okay, that does make sense. How are you doing, Sushi? I appreciate you joining the stream. Wait, is it Sushi or Sushil? I think it's Sushil, guys. I should like work on my whatchamacallit word pronunciations. Okay, let me paste that. Go shift that. Let's say my chat helped me again. Exclamation. Although I feel like I understood the concept. Can we do another question mark? Do a code to know whether the number is prime or not? Okay, whether a number is prime. Honestly, how do you find prime numbers? I know how to find even numbers. I forgot the code to find prime. Bro, let's make your console output prettier, please. Please do standard console output step okay, number standard console. Okay, so my standard console output. So I could go with something like a string here. Let me go with a pair of quotes, step. Okay, I could just go with step. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and add step, and then another console, console output. Okay, that's results. Okay, is this how it's gonna be prettier? And then colon. Okay, another console output with a colon. There we go. And then number standard console output. Is this what you meant? Okay, if I run the command divisible by 1 and itself, number which can only divide with 1 or itself. Oh, actually that does make sense. Okay, let me go with 3. Okay, maybe I do add a space here. There we go. Okay, I should like work on making stuff prettier. That said, let me go with the control A, delete the whole thing. Okay, let me actually get a question through Sensei about getting prime numbers. Let me say, Sensei, someone in chat said me to write a code that only gets prime numbers, ... Can you give me a instructional based question on that topic ? And print result. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, let me get Sensei there. Okay, let me go with the Shift Z. Okay, so after this, I print result. Okay, maybe I go with step right there. Result, maybe remove that from here. Okay, if I were to go with the control S and now run the command, if I change that to 3. Okay, there we go. I think that looks much prettier. Okay, let's get Sensei back here. Okay, found a fake. You wanted to step into, let me just go with the control A to delete that. Okay, you wanted to step into dangerous territory. Prime numbers are the hunters of the number world. Here's your instructional question based challenge. Write a program that asks the user for a number n, okay, uses a while loop to print all prime numbers from 2 up to n. Remember, a prime number is only divisible by 1 and itself. Print each prime number one on a new line. Okay. Hint, you'll probably need a nested loop to check if a number is prime. The inner loop checks divisibility. The outer loop goes from 2 to n. Okay. Just curious. Let me say, would I need two while loops? Question mark. I honestly feel like nested loops could be like while loop inside a while loop, for loop inside of a while loop, like that. Okay, yes, Vivek, you're thinking like a soldier. One while loop will go through all numbers from 2 up to n, the candidates. The second while loop will check if each number is divisible by anything between 2, okay, and itself, -1. If the inner loop finds a divisor, the number is not prime. If the inner loop finds none, it's prime. Okay, guys, I should work more on my math. Okay, with that said, let me go with the control A. Delete everything. Start off by including IO stream. So I'll include a pair of ankle braces. IO stream, and then let me go ahead and include vector as well. So honestly, I don't know why I'm even including vector. I'm not even adding vectors. Like I'm not even like going with a standard vector which only consists of integers type stuff. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. Okay, next up. Okay, let's see. Ask the user for a number, so I could go with something like integer number. Okay, there we go. And then I could go with something like integer result equals to 0. Honestly, it's equal to 0 because I'm like not going to be using multiplication here. That said, I could go with okay, next up, let me add a while loop. Before that, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something. Let's insert something like enter a number. Okay, and I'll end that with a semicolon and then go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my number variable. Okay, and I'll end that with a semicolon as well. Now, I'll need to add a nested while loop. So firstly, I could add a regular while loop. This while loop would most likely check if the number is divisible by 1. Okay, you'll need a nested loop to check if a number is prime. The inner loop checks divisibility. The outer loop goes from 2 to n. Okay, so how do we check divisibility? One while loop will go through all numbers from 0 up to n, the candidates. The second while loop will check if each number is divisible by anything between 2 and itself. Okay, I could go with the number divided by 2. Okay, I think I know. Okay, one while loop will go through all numbers from 0 up to n. Okay, so let's say while my number is greater than let's say 1, while my number variable is greater than 1, okay, which it will be greater than 1, you can also use, instead of console output, print step %d. Is d like a function like %d colon result, %d the index result? Actually, I might try that part. Okay, with that said, while my number is greater than 1, okay, that's the first while loop. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. It shouldn't be greater than 1. My number that I'm going to be entering is going to be greater than 1. Okay, divisible checks if my number is greater than 1, it must be 2. I'll add another while loop, so while a pair of parentheses. That checks if my number is greater than 1, so it should be 2 or more. This while loop checks something else. Let's see. The second while loop will check if each number is divisible by anything between 2 and itself. Okay, I'll go with the if statement inside of my while loop. So I'll go with while. Okay, do I need to add anything? You're doing. Yeah, you're going right. Number greater than 1. Okay, perfect. Using namespace standard on second, it can avoid standard colon. Honestly, many people did say me to like use a using namespace standard, but some other people did say me that in big projects when you using namespace, it could have like name conflicts because like some other libraries might have console output as well. So to be more clear and like even more readable, like we prefer writing standard console output. Okay, but you need to include CSTDO for printf like. Oh, I see. Honestly, I've never heard of the CSTDO. I might actually look into that. That said, let's see, what while loop, what condition should I add here? The second while loop will check if each number is divisible by anything between 2 and itself. Okay, so let's go with while my number. Should I go with greater than 1 here as well and then add a if statement here? Like if a pair of parentheses, if my number divided by 2, okay, if my number can be divided by 2, okay, and itself, I think this divided by 2 is like the half of my number. This doesn't make sense. It would be better complexity with erat. How do you pronounce that, guys? Erathenesis, guys. I'm real bad with pronunciations. Great algorithm, but for this, array knowledge is needed. Honestly, yeah, I do want to like get to that level, guys. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, what condition could I add here? So the first condition checks if my number is greater than 1, which is 2 or more. The second while loop. do I need to go? Okay, I wouldn't need a for loop because I don't have a container slash a vector. I'm not using a vector. Okay, the second one should check if each number is divisible by anything between 2 and itself. Between 2 and itself. Okay, so while my number equals to number divided by 2, does that make any sense? Change the condition number greater than 1 to number greater than 2 because we want to check between 2 and the number. Oh, if I go with number greater than 2, isn't the 2 exclusive? Like, don't they like ignore 2 and go up to 3? Because while my number is greater than 2, so 3 is greater than 2. Don't they like stop once the number is at 3? Okay, while my number is equal to number divided by 2. Why does this not make sense to me? Okay, so the second while loop will check if each number is divisible by anything between 2 and itself. Check between 2 and the square root of the number. Is there like a math module here to like add square root? Because in Python I used to use the squared function. Okay, so check between 2 and the square root of the number. 2 and the square root of the number. So while your while condition is only true for 0. Is only true for 0. While my number is greater than 2, okay. Math.h has it. Oh, so is math.h something like that I could include, like hashtag include math.h? Is it something like this? Okay, I don't think this is how it works. Or could I go with something like using math.h? Using, you were right, sorry, it will number greater than 1. Oh, okay. Presumably you're looking for primes. I just joined. Honestly, I'm trying to like I forgot what I was gonna do. Yeah, I was looking for like prime numbers. Okay, between every number between it. So if I pick like 5, the prime numbers between 2 and 5. Okay, I might ask Sensei for help here. While a pair of parentheses, I want to know what condition goes here. I could go with the control C, copy that. Okay, I'll just ask for a small hint most likely because I do want to solve a question on my own. Okay, let me paste it, go with shift enter and say, so let's say I can't think of a condition that I would need to add inside my while loop. Question mark. Can you just help me with that part? Question mark. Yeah, hashtag include. Oh, I forgot the pair of ankle braces. Hello, how are you doing down, Benji? I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, listen carefully, Vivek. I won't let you waste time stumbling blindly. Inside the inner while loop, you need to check if the current number is divisible by anything between 2 and number minus 1. Create a variable, let's call it I equals to 2. The condition of the number, the condition of the inner loop, I less than number, okay. I less than number, keep checking while I is less than the number. Inside that loop, you'll test if number modulus I equals to 0. If true, number is not prime. Aren't even numbers not prime? Don't forget to I plus plus inside your inner loop or you'll die in an infinite loop. Think of it like this. Integer I equals to 2 while I is less than or equal to number. If number modulus I equals to 0, I break. Okay, number is not prime. That's how we check prime numbers. I see. Okay, let me get Sensei/ChatGPT there. Okay, so wait, instead of the second while loop, yo Vivek, wanna hop on call? I could help you out. Honestly, eventually, once like I do wanna like make projects with my streamers on on call and everything. That said, I do want to do that in the future. Like for now, I'm trying to figure things out on my own. Okay, yes, math.h has things to check. Instead of number minus 1, go for squirt. It's faster. Okay, let me start off by including. Let's go with hashtag include. I'll include cmath. Okay, actually inside of my pair of ankle braces. There we go. Okay, instead of number -1, go for squirt. So should I like add that right here? And guys, I don't want my mini PC to start lagging again. Lagging again, I feel like the lag is coming back. Okay, I can't wait to get an actual PC. Okay, with that said, okay, so the condition, let's see. I could go with the if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, yeah, if the number, if the division remainder is 0, it's divisible by that number. Copy that inside first while loop and replace command by console output. Copy that. I'm kind of confused. Copy what? Guys, I'm getting the error again. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I can't wait to get my PC, guys. Okay, so if my I could go with an I and also that equal to 2. Okay, let me go with integer I, also that equal to 2. Okay, integer I, also that equal to 2. There we go. Okay, next up. Okay, while my I is less than my number. Okay, let me change this. So if it's not 0 for other numbers, then itself one. Okay, I think I read it wrong. So if it is 0 for other numbers, then itself 1, then it's not a prime number. So if it is 0 for other numbers, then itself, oh, I see, okay, and 1, then it's not a prime number. Okay, I think I see. Let me go with if my I is less than my number. Okay, so if my I is less than my number, I check if my number modulus I equals to 0. So I'll go with my number modulus I equals to 0. Copy what ChatGPT gave you. Honestly, I like preferred, like I usually like to type it out so like I get a quick gist of what's going on. Okay, so if my number modulus I, actually number modulus I, it's lagging. Honestly, yeah, because like for some reason I couldn't stream yesterday as well because my mini PC was lagging probably too much for it. Even though I'm streaming in one platform right now, before I used to stream like in 5 different platforms. That said, I am planning to get an actual PC. I will definitely like record a video of me building my own PC for the first time, and I'm pretty excited for that as well. For not lagging too much. Okay, I'll go with. You just have divisibility integers from 2 up to the square root of the number. Oh, I see. That actually makes sense. Okay, so I've lost and then I'll lagging better in the middle something. Okay, while is less than number. Okay. Other pair of curly here. 5GG. Honestly, guys, I feel like I'm lagging right now because I was planning to like get a PC because of that. Okay, let's go with a break. Although I do not know if I can like actually build a PC, guys. It's gonna be my first. Hey, outside my for loop, let me go and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna be my, let's say, number. Should it be my number? Okay, I could go something like or number. I increases by 1, so I'll go with my even. Then I break. Okay, if it's not even, I display my number. So with this go, would I have to add number here? If I were to go with the Control S to copy and like run the command. Okay, let's see. Guys, this thing is actually lagging so much. Enter a number. Let's go with 10. Or, oops, went with 120. Okay, it returns 10. In the other hand, what happens if I went with result or like with I? If I were to hit Control S and run the command again. Okay, it says enter a number. What if I go with 10? Okay, this time it gives me 3. Howdy, animal. I appreciate you joining this stream. For the n modulus 1 where I is not 1 or itself and the remainder is 0, then it's not prime number. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. And guys, I feel like the lag is slowly fading away. Bro, upgrade your Wi-Fi. Honestly, I'm like having 500 Mbps. I added an Ethernet cable as well. I feel my Wi-Fi is real fast. I think it's my PC that can handle all this because before with the same exact Wi-Fi I used to like stream in 5 different platforms, but I am using like a mini PC, so I gotta like change my PC up. Okay, because guys, I literally am using an Ethernet cable and like my Wi-Fi feels like it's real good. That said, instead I go with I++. Let's go with the control A, control C, copy that, get sensei slash chat 3 here. Let me paste this, go with shift enter and say, so let's say I feel like I messed up question mark. Okay, let's see. Yes, Vivek, you just dropped your loop into a pit and walked away. Look at this deeper. Okay, I feel the stream is getting better now. Okay, look at this disaster. I++ is outside the while loop. That means if number modulus 1 is not equal to 0, the loop will never increment I infinite loop. You never have a mechanism to print only prime or to loop through all numbers to n. Right now you're only right now you're only checking one number. Result isn't used at all. The structure you need outer loop goes from 2 up to number candidate number. Inner loop checks if that candidate number is divisible by anything from 2 to candidate -1, okay? Or squared candidate for optimization if divisible mark is not prime, and don't print if it's not divisible printed. Okay, increment everything properly or the loop die in infinite limbo. Fix it like this: outer loop while candidate is less than or equal to number, inner while my index is less than my candidate. Check divisibility. Proper increments inside your loop, print prime after inner loop. Okay, bro is unwatchable. Honestly, yeah, I think now it's an excellent connection, guys. I see you had a video for vectors. That would be interesting to use. Sieve, is that how it pronounces? Sieve at, is that, guys, I'm so bad at pronunciation. Arthurnice's algorithm to solve this task. If you don't know, erase, check network over task management. Some programming right now using network, which you don't want to. Can we do multiple conditions in while, like while number, and honestly, I feel we could use logical operators there inside a while loop. That said, let me try fixing my code now. Okay, so the first loop, so the outer while loop could be something like while my candidate is less than or equal to my number. Okay, outer loop goes from 2 up to number. So I have an integer here, actually an integer of I here. I have a result and I have a number. Inner loop checks if the candidate is divisible by anything from 2 to -1 or squared candidate for optimization. If divisible mark is not prime, and don't print. If not divisible, print it. Increment everything properly or the loop just dies in infinite. Okay, so let's fix my outer loop first. Okay, so for my outer loop, I'll go with a while loop. So let's go ahead and add a while pair of parentheses. So while candidate is less than or equal to number, I'm assuming my candidate is I here. Okay, inner loop. Okay, actually, is my candidate my number or my result? Do I even have that variable added? Okay, let me get Sensei back here. Let me ask a quick question. Let me say, Sensei, is my candidate my prime number that I find, or my I or result variable? ... I'm so kind of confused. Guys, I'm so confused at what's this thing. Okay, listen closely, Vivek. Don't let your brain turn to mush. Your candidate is the number you're currently testing to see if it's prime. It's not I, it's not result. Candidate, the number you're checking, 2, 3, 4, up to n. Okay? I is the number you use inside the inner loop to test if candidate is divisible by anything between 2 and candidate -1. Results. You don't actually need this unless you want to store or count prime numbers. Printing can happen directly. Visualize it. So we have a candidate variable which is set to 2, and then we add a while loop. While candidate is less than or equal to n, okay, I equals to 2, while I is less than candidate if candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, not prime, break. Okay, if no divisors found, print candidate. Okay, your outer loop moves from 2 to n, testing each number. Your inner loop checks if current candidate is prime. You want me to give you a broken code version of this prime loop and you fix it step by step? Honestly, I might use a broken code question first. Let me say yes, sensei. So with yes, sensei. Because usually I don't know like how like what you call it. I don't know the proper syntax or like the way it even goes. I was just going kind of blind inside this. Okay, good. Listen, this is your prime hunting trial. Here's a broken prime number program. Your job is to fix it line by line. Okay, let me just copy the broken code. Get sensei there. Let's go with Control A, Control V. Okay, so let's see the outlay of this. So I went with using namespace standard that I usually don't use. I typecasted my main function to be an integer, went with a pair of curly braces. I created a integer of number, okay. And then I went with a console output, enter a number. I went with a console input with an extraction operator. I extracted my number variable. And then I created another integer candidate. I set that equal to true. And then I added another variable, typecasted it to an integer. I set that equal to 2. First loop, you check for I less than or equal to n minus 1. In the inner loop, you check for the n modulus 1 equals to 0. If it is true, then it's not prime. Actually, that does make sense. For the first loop, you check I is not equal. Okay, for the first loop, you check I is less than or equal to n minus 1. And in the inner loop, you check if n... Oh, wait, I think I see. Okay, so the first loop, I check if my I is less than or equal to n minus 1. Okay, so I is here. I actually might try that after I just fix this question, because actually that does make sense. Okay, my second loop. If my candidate modulus 1, modulus I equals to 0, I break console output. Okay, let me go with the controllers. Now you didn't typecast the function, it just returns an integer. Oh, I see. I thought that going with integer n means like typecasting our function to an integer. Never mind. Okay, if I were to go with the control S to copy and then run the command, let's see, it says enter a number. I'll go with something like 10. Okay, it went with 2. What if I go with something like 120? Okay, let's go with 120. It still goes with... Okay, that means it is divisible by 2 or something. I went with a standard console output. Okay, wait, let me just go with the control C, copy that. Let me paste it, go with shift enter and say, let's say, I feel like I'm kind of confused because when finding prime numbers, what output am I looking for, question mark. Okay, let's see what output am I looking for. Listen closely, Vivek. This is where most warriors trip. When you're hunting primes, the output you want is only the numbers that have no divisors other than 1 and themselves. For example, if the user enters 10, the prime numbers up to 10 are 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, I see. That makes more sense. I didn't know what I was looking for. You should put integer I equals to 2 inside the first loop. Integer I equals to 2 inside the first loop. Inside my first loops, like, let me copy that. Okay, maybe like inside here. Does that make sense? If I go with like control S and run the code. Okay, let me enter 10. Okay, that still gives 2. Why don't you try with for loops? Honestly, the reason I'm not using for loops is because I don't have a vector, because it would be easy if I like created a container slash a a container slash a vector, because I would have all the numbers there, so it'd be easier to check those numbers. I am kind of new to while loops in C++, so I'm trying to just use while loop. Okay, let's read what Sensei said. Okay, look at your current code. You print every candidate immediately. After the inner loop, your inner loop doesn't increment I. That means it either loops forever or doesn't check divisibility properly. You need to reset 1 equals to 2 for each new candidate. You need a flag variable like is prime equals to true. Okay, that makes sense. If you find a divisor inside the inner loop, set is prime equals to false, only print candidate if is prime is true. Think of it like this: candidate equals to 2, while candidate is less than or equal to n. Okay, I think I see. While I is less than candidate, if candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, is prime equals to false. Okay, if is prime, print candidate. Fix your loop based on this structure. That's the only way to see true prime numbers as an output. Okay, let's try that. You need I plus plus in the end of the second loop. That's the second loop. Okay, wait, let me just get my this. Let me just go with a bunch of control Z's real quick. Okay, so at the end of my second loop, so right here, okay, at the end of the second loop, I plus plus. ChatGPT complicating the program? No. Okay, let's go with a semicolon. Let's go with a control A. Actually, let me go with a control S to save. Run the code. Maybe note down this time. 1:45. Okay, 1:45. Guys, I usually note down the times to like practice off stream if I have some time after my college stuff. That said, enter a number. Let's go with something like 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, console output candidate. Should I increase it in... Okay, outside my... Okay, wait, never mind. That was outside my if statement, not outside my loop. My loop is right here. Okay, now that's outside my loop. But integer I equals to 2 was correct. Was in the correct place? Was it? Let me copy that. Guys, I might need to find a different sensor, I guess. Hold up. By the way, that was like let me just... How do you remove this? There we go. Okay, let me paste it. There we go. Let me go with the control S now. You didn't need to move it. Oh, I see. What is I doing here? Why is it 2 alone with the candidate? Okay, honestly, I think this makes sense. Okay, so now it gives 2. Okay. So I'm going with my candidate. So, if candidate modulus I... Okay, wait, actually, I want to look at the correct code first, like actually see how the function works. Let me paste it, go with shift enter and say, can I get a reference code to see how the code actually looks? Then I can do multiple questions to master it. Okay, let's see. Well, since it's giving that, let me just hydrate my lips. Okay, good Vivek, you're hungry for the truth. Here's a reference prime number program in C++ that works. Study it closely. Notice the flag in the inner loop and the increments. So we include IOStream, integer, we go with the console output, a console input. We go with the integer candidate. Okay. And also you need the flag as ChatGPT said. Oh, I forgot about the flag, honestly. Okay, so we create a boolean variable called is prime. We set that equal to true. Then add a while loop. So while my I which is currently set to true is less than my candidate which is set to true, is prime equals to false. Okay, if my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. Okay, and then I break my while loop. And then outside my second while loop, I go with I plus plus. And then outside my first while loop, I go with the if statement. If is prime, I go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I insert candidate, another standard console, actually another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. And then I go with candidate plus plus. Lastly, I return 0. Key points. Is prime flag starts as true, flips to false if a divisor is found. I plus plus inside the inner loop, otherwise infinite loop. Print only if is prime is true. This filters out non-prime. Okay. Outer loop candidate goes from 2 up to n. Once you study this, we can move into multiple prime questions, each with a twist until you master this and while loops. Okay, let me get some ChatGPT there. Okay, so I might take a look at the reference code while doing this question because I do want to know how it feels like to write it. Let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, and then let me go ahead and include, let's say vector. There we go. Next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then let's create a few variables. So the first variable I need is a integer of my number variable. Maybe flag is not needed to check if I equals to candidate. We could I equals to candidate would be equivalent in this case. I think second while loop is not necessary. My opinion, don't know whether CRT or CRT. My opinion, don't know whether CRT. Honestly, I could try it both ways, so I'll go with an integer number variable. Then I'll go with a semicolon and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like enter a number. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon, and then I'll go with another standard console input, this time with an extraction operator of my number variable. There we go. In simple words, just get two integer variables. One is the user input, other one starts with 2 and loops up to square root of user input. Checks whether number is divisible with it. If yes, it's not a prime number. I think I see, guys. I actually don't understand that. In simple words, just get two integer variables. Okay, I think that's where we use our I and our N. One is user input. Okay, so we have one user input here, and the other starts with 2 and loops up to square root of user input and loops up to square root of user input. See, art short for correct, my bad. Oh, I see. Okay, checking whether number is divisible with it. If yes, it's not prime number. Okay, I think that made more sense reading it the second time. Okay, so I asked the user for an input, and then let me go ahead and add another integer for candidate. There we go. I'll set that equal to 2 and then end with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses, and I will be looking at the reference code now. So I created a candidate, and then I'll go with while my candidate is less than or equal to my number. So while my candidate variable, k, is less than or equal to my number variable, okay, is less than or equal to my number variable, I create another variable called I, which is set to true, and a flag of is prime, which is a boolean variable that is initially set to true. Okay, boolean is 5, boolean is prime equals to true. Then while I is less than or equal to n minus 1, check all numbers up to n minus 1 if n modulus 1 equals to 0, is prime equals to false, break found a divisor, stop checking, I plus plus, see the one loop only. Okay, actually I might check that as well. Okay, let's go with a pair of curly braces. Let me add I plus, actually, let me go with an integer of I. I'll set that equal to 2. And then let's see, I need to create a flag as well. So I'll go with a boolean value of s prime. Okay, there we go. I'll set that equal to be true. That's initially going to be set to true. And then I go with another while loop inside this while loop. Okay, I'll add a pair of, actually I'll add a semicolon there as well. So let's go with a nested while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses, while I is less than my candidate. Okay, there we go. While I is less than my candidate, I check if my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. If that does happen, my is prime variable is going to be equal to false, and I break. Okay, I see. You may try without flag. Just check if I equals to number after the inner loop. If I equals to number after the inner loop. Honestly, I'll definitely check after the flag, like once I actually do it with the flag, because I do want to see how it works. Hey, where are you from? Awesome, dude. I'm honestly currently in the United States. I appreciate you, Kesa. Love you so that. Okay, while I is less than my condition, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let me check. So if my candidate modulus my I variable is equal to 0, so I could go with a if statement, go with a pair of parentheses. If my candidate variable modulus I equals to 0, I'll go ahead and add a pair of curly braces and go with my candidate variable. Actually, my is prime. Is it C++? Yeah, honestly, it is C++. I'm trying to master C++ for my programming for 250 days series. I'm going to spend a good chunk, like 100 days mastering C++. That said, prime. There we go. I'll set that equal to false. Okay, and inside the if structure, print not a prime, else print prime. Okay, that makes sense. That's honestly the first thing that I understood like in a sec. Okay, I'll go with a break. Okay, so if a number is not prime, I'm going to be printing something else. Actually, I might do that outside my statement. Okay, and then outside my while loop, I'll go with I plus plus. This increases my I. Okay, and then now outside all my loop, I'll go with another if statement. If a pair of parentheses, I'll go with if is prime. If a prime number is found. Guys, I feel the stream is gonna lag again. My PC started to lag. I should fix my PC. Oh my gosh. Okay, if is prime, is this the variable name? Is prime. Let me copy that. I hope the stream doesn't start lagging again. I feel like it is gonna. Okay, if is prime. Python forever, hell yeah, guys! I definitely want to review more in Python. That said, I do want to learn C++ too. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Is prime? Why is prime? I think. Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. Because most likely the is prime is inside of my while loop. So I should probably get my is prime outside my while loop. Okay, let me copy that. Delete that. There we go, guys. The stream started lagging again. This is so annoying. Okay, let me paste this here. Okay, let's delete that. Zoom in. I guess the lag is just gonna last for a bit and then it just goes away. Okay, let me go ahead and add a standard console output. So a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm gonna be inserting something. This is gonna be, let's say my candidate variable. Another insertion operator of a / new line. 2 a.m. here, what's there? It's currently 3:11 p.m. here. Okay, that said, let me go with a semicolon. Okay, honestly, I think this thing should go. Wait, let me go with a bunch of control Z's. Okay, let me get my candidate, my boolean prime back here. Let me delete this from here, guys. If this even works, like the stream sometimes it lags so much. Okay, so I plus plus under my second for loop. My while loop. Okay, so it's under my while loop. Okay, that is outside my while loop. How do I get access to my is prime outside my while loop? Okay, let's go with Shift Z. Okay, let me go with Control Shift Z. Maybe I gotta do it manually. There we go. Okay, guys, I feel like the stream is gonna. Okay, I think the lag is better now. Okay, perfect. Alright, now, and then copy that. There we go, guys. The lag is back to normal now. Okay, I don't have an idea about C++, but it really looks like JavaScript. Honestly, does it? I actually wanted to learn like JavaScript as well. I might actually have a whole series after I programming for 250 days series, because I do want to like explore different programming languages and then stick to one that I like. See you. Good luck with coding. I appreciate you, Kuril. That means a lot. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line. There we go. I'll end that with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Next up, outside my if statement. That is outside my if statement. I'll go with candidate plus plus. So I'll go with my candidate variable. I'll go with plus plus. Semicolon. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I would hit Control S, save the code and run the command. Don't use break. Okay, there we go. The lag is gone. Okay, don't use break. Invert the condition to if candidate modulus I is not actually is equal to 0. Standard console output with an insertion operator. It's not prime number, else standard console output it's prime I plus plus, then end the loop bracket I plus plus inside the loop. Honestly, when I read it, it makes sense, but then in chat it doesn't. Like, I can't understand the concept of that. Wait, what if I go with like 10 now? Okay, it doesn't print anything. Actually, I might just go with the complete fixed code because I do want to see how it works first before I actually write the code. Okay, let me paste it. Let me go shift enter and say, let's say, can you give me a correct code? I just want to see how it looks like. I can't uh figure it out. Dot dot dot. And guys, me being bad at math is just adds up. Alright, Vivek, here's a clean, corrected version of your prime numbers program. Pay close attention to the. Okay. Alright, so let me just copy that. Increment 1. Key things to notice is prime 2 resets for each candidate. I++ is inside the inner loop, not outside. Printing only happens after inner loop confirms prime. Outer loop increments candidate after checking each number. Once you internalize this, we can do 50 more prime twist questions. Okay, 50 does sound pretty good. Each with a slightly different rule to make you a while loop and prime master. Okay, let me get some say there. Let's go with Control A, Control V. Let me paste the corrected code here. Let's go with Control S to save. If I run the command, and let's say I go with 10. Okay, this prints. So now, okay, if this code is correct, let me try look at the reference code and writing that code. Okay, so I will be looking at the reference code. Let me start off by including IO stream, pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, I wouldn't need vector honestly, just IO stream because I'm not using vectors. That said, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. Okay, I'll go with a pair of ankle braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. Okay, the next thing, I create a variable called number, which is an integer, and then I go with a standard console output that says enter a number, and then a standard console input which extracts that number. And then I create another integer of candidate that is set to true. That boolean variable had one job. It had one job, guys. Okay, let's see. So let me go ahead and create a integer of number which is going to be equal to, okay, integer number honestly. And then I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like enter a number. There we go. Okay, and then I will end that with a semicolon, and right after that I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my number variable. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon, and then I drink some water, guys. I do need to be hydrated to process everything that's going on. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create another variable that is going to be an integer. It's going to be called candidate. There we go. I'll set that equal to 2. Next up, let me go ahead and add a semicolon here, and then add a while loop. So I'll go with a while, pair of parentheses. So the first while condition is going to be checking, let's see. So it's going to be checking if my candidate is less than or equal to my number. I need to ask the use of candidate here. So if my candidate is less than or equal to my number variable, okay, so my candidate, if it's less than or equal to my number, I'm pretty sure this means that this limits my number to be less than 0. Okay, fact check me, guys. Can like negative numbers be prime as well? I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Okay, next up, I create another variable called I, which is an integer that is set to 2 as well, and then I create a boolean variable called prime, which is set to true by default. So first I'll go with integer I, which is set to 2, and then I'll go with a boolean, let's say is prime, which is set to true by default. Okay, next up, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I do create another while loop, and the condition is if my integer I variable is less than my candidate. It's not less than my candidate, they both are equal to each other. Candidate sounds so hungry, games are... Guys, I should change the name, honestly. It's so hard, like I get a tongue twister writing the name and saying the name out. That said, I'll go with another while loop, so I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses. So while I is less than my candidate, there we go, while I is less than my candidate variable, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then I add a if statement. So if my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, I set my is underscore prime boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, I understood this part. So I'll go with the if statement, a pair of parentheses. So if my candidate variable modulus 1, okay, equals to 0, there we go. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and set my s prime variable to be equal to false. Okay, so if my number, this is going to honestly be I, there we go. Okay, and then after, outside of my second while loop, outside of my inner while loop, I increment 1 inside the inner loop. So outside my initial while loop, I'll go with I plus plus. Excuse me guys, I'll go with a semicolon here, and then outside my outer while loop, I'll go with if prime. So if my number is a prime, I'm going to display that on the screen, print only if candidate is prime, and then I go with candidate plus plus, move to next candidate. Honestly, I'm kind of seeing the use of the candidate variable now. I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses, if let's say is underscore prime, if my is underscore prime boolean variable is set to true, I'll do something. What are you learning or teaching us today? Honestly, I'm not like teaching you guys right now, but although not like right now, I do want to like teach you guys Python. That said, I am trying to master and learn C++ for my programming for 258 series, where my goal by the end of the series is to make a game in general that consists of AI in it. That said, Google Erwathos, is that how, I don't know how to pronounce that. Saif, let me Google that real quick. Okay, what is ERATOSTHENESSIEVE? Okay, let's see. The sieve of, how do you pronounce that? Of Eratosthenes is an ancient algorithm to, let me show you guys. There we go. Okay, is an ancient algorithm used to find all prime numbers up to a given limit. It works by iteratively making the multiples of each prime number starting from 2, effectively eliminating composite numbers. The unmarked numbers that remain are the prime numbers. This method has been a fundamental tool in number theory for centuries, providing insight to the distribution of prime numbers. Oh, I see. That actually sounds pretty good. That I plus plus should have been in the inner loop. The I plus plus should have been in the inner loop. Yeah, okay, should have been inside the inner loop. I feel like here it's in the outer loop. And firstly, how did sensei slash, like, if I go to my reference code here, how did sensei slash chat GPT get access to, like, whatchamacallit, the if is prime? Oh, it's inside the inner loop. I've been adding it outside the inner loop. Okay, guys, I just read the code wrong. That's so stupid. Let me copy that. Okay, so inside my inner while loop, okay, let me go ahead and add this if statement. Maybe I go with the Control Z and write it manually. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses, if is prime. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense now. Okay, so if my number is prime, then I do something. Let's see. I go with a standard console output that prints my candidate. Okay, so I'll go with standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my candidate variable with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, this basically prints only if candidate is prime. Okay, I do have an if statement for that. After that, I have another if statement here. I see. And then outside my okay, so I plus plus is, wait, hold up. While wait, actually the I plus plus should go inside. Guy, I think that you were right, Elk Troy. I plus plus should be inside. Okay, so the thing is, where do I, so after my first if condition. Okay, so while, let me actually show you guys what I'm reading. Okay, so the I plus plus is here. So first we have an outer while loop, okay, that begins there and ends all the way here. No, it ends all the way here. And then our inner while loop, which begins right here and ends all the way here. We added an if statement that ends right here. The conditions are if our candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, or is prime equals to false, and we break. After our if statement, we go with I plus plus to increment I inside the inner loop. Okay. Although why do we add a whatchamacallit? Why do we add a semicolon? Actually, a pair of curly braces here. Where does this start? Oh, I think this is the while loop. Okay, so it starts here and it ends here. That makes sense. Okay, so the while loop, it starts from here and ends here. If statement starts there, ends there. So after my if statement, inside of my inner loop, I go with I plus plus. Okay, and then outside of my... No, this is... If my while loop ends here, how is my if statement up? Okay, wait. This is where my while loop should end. My if is prime. Okay. That's right here. Which loop is this for? This is for my inner loop. Okay, my inner loop has the is prime. Okay, guys, I think I see what this means. Hold up. So, first I go with if is prime. I go with my inner loop that says if my I is less than my candidate. Okay, and then I go with an if statement. If my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, I do that. And then I check if is prime. This thing, let me copy this part. This shouldn't go inside my inner while loop. This should go inside of my outer while loop, which is going to be right here. Okay, maybe I'll just remove a space from here. Let's go with standard. There we go. Okay, and then under my if statement, is it under my if statement? Okay, under my initial if statement here, I go with my I plus plus. Okay. And then after my is prime, okay, right here, I go ahead and add a candidate plus plus. Okay, and then under that, after my while loop is over, so my while loop ends right here, I go ahead and return 0. Okay, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, let me go with a Control S to save the code, run the command, enter a number, I'll go with 10. Okay, it prints all those, although I did copy this whole code, honestly, so I do gotta figure something out. Because if the inner loop completes, that means no number between I and candidate is divisible between candidate, which means candidate is hello prime. Oh, I see. How is learn programming language? How to learn programming language? Honestly, I feel like the best way to learn a programming language is to like whatchamacallit, to like keep doing questions and like the more questions until you don't understand the concept in it. That said, how doing Manny? Is that I pronounce the name Manikanda? How doing Manikanda? I appreciate joining this stream. That said, okay, I think I get the quick gist of this. So I go with integer variable and then a candidate variable, add an outer while loop. Candidate is less than or equal to my number. I create an integer which is set to true, and then I create a boolean variable of is prime which is set to true as well, and then a inner while loop which says while I is less than my candidate. Okay, if my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. Okay, I know modulus is like the remainders, so okay, once I divide them, if that is equal to 0, is prime is false. Okay, and then I go with I plus plus, and outside my while loop, outside my inner while loop, I create an if statement that checks if the number is prime. If it is prime, I print my candidate. Okay, here my candidate keeps increasing. Okay, I think I understand. I'll try writing this myself now. The best way to learn is by the best way to learning is by learning by doing. Honestly, I completely agree with that. Like whenever I start doing something, I'm like so stupid when it comes to like doing stuff, but then when I like keep doing it like for days or even months, I actually start getting the gist of it. That's when stuff becomes easier. That said, let me start off by including IO stream, include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream, and then let me go ahead and include Honestly, I might not need vectors because I'm not working with containers. That said, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer, add a pair of curly braces, and then create a variable. I'll go with a integer number variable, which is going to be not set to anything because I will ask my user to set it to something. Okay, so I would go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll insert a text that says enter a number. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon. Right under that, I'll go with a standard console input. So cin with an extraction operator of my number variable. Which standard are you in? Honestly, I'm currently in college. That's the reason, like, before my college, I used to like program for like 10 hours a day or something when I had my Python for 100 ACs. Since I started my college, I can only program when I stream, so that does kind of limit me. So I'm mostly an egg in my streams. That said, let me go ahead and create another variable. So I'll go with integer of candidate variable. Okay, so this is the variable that we're going to be displaying on this screen, whether it's prime or if it's a prime number. Okay, I will be setting that equal to 2. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a while loop. So while, let's say while my candidate variable is greater than my number. Okay, now let me think about the condition that I just wrote. While my candidate, I am counting this, so this is going to be my initial number. Okay, this is going to be the number that's going to be displayed on my terminal, while that number is greater than my number variable. Okay, because anything less than 2, I don't think it's a prime number. Fact check me, guys. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Let me add a few variables. So first is going to be an integer variable of I, which is going to be equal to 2. The second is going to be a boolean variable. Cool, which you're at college. Honestly, I'm a freshman. This is like my first ever year in college, so it is pretty tough, guys. Although in my recent exam, I did get an A, so I think it's pretty good. Can you speak Hindi? Honestly, I can speak Hindi, but I'm kind of not that. Actually, I feel like I'm kind of fluent in it. Like if I like speak on spot, like I know how to like speak Hindi, but I can't like commentate in Hindi like how I do in English because I'm too fluent in English when it comes to commentating, but eventually, like, if I speak Hindi, I am going to be saying English words. That said, I can, like, speak basic Hindi, although I cannot read Hindi. That's a bad thing. I should, like, learn multiple languages. How to become a ethical hacker? Honestly, I don't know much about cybersecurity or, like, hacker. Honestly, I did want to either be an AI engineer or cybersecurity, one of them. That said, I'll go with a boolean is prime variable. There we go. Okay, boolean is prime variable, which is going to be equal to true by default. Okay, next up, let me create an inner while loop. Okay, let me end that with a semicolon. Okay, right here. Okay, I'll create another while loop. So I'll go with while a pair of parentheses. That said, okay, so a boolean is underscore prime, which is set to true. Cool, English communication, bro, share tips. I appreciate you. Ratnod, guys, I should work on my spellings. That said, I feel like the only cause I think it's most like the people you're around. So like if you're around a certain accent, then like you eventually catch that accent, I feel like. So I usually call it? I don't know much tips. I've never thought about tips on like speaking because I just tried like I got better at like commentating while I'm streaming because I streamed every single day for the past 113 days or something. I don't know, guys. Okay, so the second while loop checks something. So I'll go with if my I is, let's see, I forgot this part. Okay, if my I is less than my candidate. So if my I is less than my candidate variable, okay, they both are currently equal to each other. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Which country, bro? I'm currently in the United States. That said, while I is less than my candidate, let's see. Okay, I'll do something. I'll go with an if statement. If a pair of parentheses, I need Excel AI Aiden. Anyone around here to help develop this? Honestly, I've like never heard that, but that sounds pretty cool, honestly. Okay, so if let's see, if my candidate modulus I equals to 0, I'll do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. India anytime. Honestly, I've never been to India, but I'm really excited to like someday visit India in the future. Whenever I do, I'll definitely stream my experience. How old, bro? Honestly, I'm 17 years old. I'm so close to turning 18. My birthday is on the January 5th. I think that's not close. Like, what month we're in? I think we're in September, right? Is it September? Yeah, it is September. Okay, September, I think October, November, December, January. 4 more months, guys. Okay, with that said, if my candidate modulus I keep writing I for one. There we go. Okay, if my candidate modulus I equals to 0, I'll set my is prime any girlfriend. Honestly, guys, I've never dated anybody, yet, because I've been really busy, guys. I don't have time in my day at all. It's like either I'm working on my college stuff, either I'm like programming, either I'm making a thumbnail, editing my video, or creating something, or doing something else. What, too young? That's cool. I appreciate you, Robert. Okay, I'll set my is prime to be equal to false. Okay, next up, after my if statement, outside of my if statement, I'll go with my I. I'll increase that by 1 every time. That said, let's see. Next up, outside my inner while loop, let me go ahead and add another if statement. Where are you from? I'm currently in the United States. Okay, let me create a if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, if is prime. Okay, so if my number is prime, I'm gonna do something. Let's see. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then I don't know, if is prime, I'll go with a standard console output. So let me go with a standard console output. What your parents do, bro? Honestly, I've never thought much about that. I mean, I do know what they do, but I don't know if I could like say it online, because then, guys, because online is like, it's a whatchamacallit, a place. Because like before, I remember like saying something, because I used to be like for a long time in Discord. Like, you spent like 10 hours in Discord before. That said, I gave like an information that like ruined my whole history, and then ever since then I don't give much information online. Although, let's see, standard console output. This is going to be my candidate variable. I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line. Too many personal questions. Honestly, guys, I don't mind if you guys ask me questions. I just answer the ones that I'm comfortable answering. That said, I'm comfortable honestly answering most questions unless it's like too personal, like where I live. Okay, and then outside my main while loop, I'll go with my candidate variable. I'll increase it by 1. Okay, let's see. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I were to do Control S and save the code and run the command, if I went with 10, okay, did I mess something up? So first I added a if statement. Okay, if my candidate modulus 1 is 0, okay, what's your favorite food? Honestly, let's see. I think I usually just eat either peanut butter and bread or like oats. Sometimes I do like my mom's food. She makes like rice and some kind of curry. I don't prefer eating much of that, but then it's like, guys, you should like eat as much food that your mom makes as you can while you're still young. That's why I'm eating it while I'm still young. Okay, electronic and communication engineering. Explain me, bro. Honestly, that sounds pretty cool. I do wanna. I was thinking of being like an engineer as well, but later I thought I could be like either an air engineer or a cybersecurity. I don't have much experience. Although I don't have much experience in that. Okay, so if is prime. Did I mess something up here? I is less than candidate. Okay. If candidate modulus I equals to 0, is prime equals to false, I did forget a break. Okay, let me break. Okay, now if I go with the Control S to save and run the command. Okay, let's see entry number. Okay, if I go with 10, it doesn't print anything. Okay, so after my if statement, after I break, I incremented 1 inside the inner loop, doing that. Okay. And then outside my while loop, I think this is inside my while loop. Okay, no, this is outside my while loop. Okay, outside that I go with a prime. I go with a standard console output of a new line. And then outside my if statement, I go with my candidate ++, and then I return 0. I feel I did everything correct. Hold up, guys. And I feel the lag is back, guys. I hate this lag. I can't wait to get a PC. Okay, let's see. So first I add my outer while loop that has a candidate. Oh, if my candidate is less than or equal to number. There we go, guys. I just messed up with the conditionings. Oh, it says again, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay, let's go with the Control S to save if I run the command. Guys, like many of you guys are like, it's my internet, but I'm like, I have a whole internet. I mean, a whole Ethernet cable. I should. It's definitely like my device because I feel my hardware can't like catch all this because like my internet is like 500 Mbps. Okay, let's see. Okay, entry number. I'll go with 10. Okay, there we go. Okay, the condition that I did mess up on was candidate is less than or equal to number. So if my candidate is less than or equal to my number, integer I equals to true, boolean is prime equals true. So if my candidate is less than or equal to my number. Okay, I see. And guys, the best way to practice is to delete the code and write it again. Okay, this time I won't mess up. Okay, let me go ahead and include IO stream. Okay, include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. And guys, I feel like the lag is gonna get better. Like, this is like the third time I feel the stream is lagging. Like, I think this lag just lasts like for a minute or two. Next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to an integer. Excuse me, guys. And then go with a pair of curly braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. Next up, let me go ahead and create a integer of number. Okay, like stream on multiple platforms. I used to like stream on like 5 different platforms, but then because my mini PC, because I don't use like an actual PC, I use a mini PC. It's not your device, bro. Is it not my device? Because when I like don't stream, then it works perfectly, honestly. It should be a Wi-Fi. Wait, let me check my internet speed real quick. I'm pretty sure it was like 500 Mbps. Let me check internet speed. Okay, let me check my internet speed real quick. Happens with me, bro. Okay, let me start it real quick. Okay, it is. Okay. Hold up, guys. I'm checking my internet speed right now. It is pretty good, honestly. Yeah, 500 Mbps. It can lag because you're doing multiple platforms. Honestly, currently I'm just doing YouTube. Like before, I used to like stream horizontally, vertically on Twitch. Kick and stream at the same time. It used to work pretty good, but ever since I like started like keeping my device on for so long, it started glitching only on stream. Lag is not issue to US. I see. Okay, it says my ping is 17 ms and my download is 594.75 mbps and my upload speed is 608.53 mbps. I don't know anything about it, but I feel that that's like very good maybe. Okay, let me just go with Control Shift S, maybe take a picture of this part. Okay, because guys, I don't want to show the whole part because there's like the IP address too. Okay, there we go. Let me actually show the picture, guys. Here, if I like open the picture, there we go. Guys, that was my internet speed test. Like, it says my ping is 17. To us, we not. Oh, I see. Okay, not us. Guys, is this like good? Like 17 ms, that download speed and like this upload speed. I think that should be pretty good. Okay, with that said, okay, the stream lag is gone, guys. Now it's pretty good. Alright, so where was I? I go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. Okay, this needs 2 colons. There we go. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add another variable. Yeah, it's too long. It's too long. It's Wi-Fi? I might have to upgrade my Wi-Fi in that case, guys. You're missing a column between standard and console input. Oh, I see. Guys, I should pay more attention on those stuff. There we go. I go with an integer candidate. Okay, this is going to be equal to 2. That said, let me go ahead and create a while loop now. So I'll go with a while loop. Okay, so while my candidate is less than or equal to my number. It took too long. Oh, I see. Okay. You don't have to upgrade Wi-Fi. It happens. Oh, I see. Okay, while my candidate is less than or equal to my number, I do something. Let me create 2 variables. The first is going to be integer I, which is going to be equal to 2. It will happen even with 2001. That's actually pretty crazy, guys. What do I do so like it does not lag at all, guys? I did not want this thing to lag. Okay, I'll go with is prime. Okay, I'll set that equal to something like true initially. And then let me go ahead and add an inner while loop. So I'll go with something like while a pair of parentheses. Let's go with while my I, actually, while my candidate variable modulus I equals to 0. Also, you can put using namespace standard on top of the file, so you don't have to use standard colon colon before standard library calls. Honestly, yeah, many people did say me to like do that, but then some other people did say me that using namespace is not recommended in big projects because that would like cause some name conflicts and everything, like name clashes. So using a standard console output keeps it like a bit readable. So I thought if it's like a good practice, might as well try it. Okay, that's it. Inside my while loop, I'll add a if statement. So if my let's see. Actually, this condition goes in my while loop. Okay, that condition goes inside of my if statement. Inside my while loop, I'll go with while my, let's say I is greater than my candidate. Was it this? I forgot. Okay, honestly, while my I is less than my candidate. Okay, while I is less than my candidate, if candidate modulus I equals to 0, I'll do something. Let's see. Okay, I'll go with my is prime boolean variable, will set that equal to false. And then outside my if statement, I'll increment my I, I'll increase it by 1. Okay, and then outside my inner while loop, let me add another if statement. I guess so for standard library, it seems unnecessary to specify it each time. Honestly, that does make sense, but I feel like my fingers are so used to typing standard console output, I like hardly even feel it. Okay, so I'll go with if a pair of parentheses and then add something like if is prime. If the number is prime, I'll do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then let's add a standard console output. So I'll go with standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. I want to insert my candidate variable. Okay, with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, with that said, I will be increasing my candidate by 1 as well. Okay, and lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I were to hit Control S, save the code and run the command, let's see, it says enter a number. I'll go with something like 10. Okay, it does work honestly, but I don't take credit for this question at all, guys. I've just been trying to write this question again and again so I get a quick click on how this works. I feel like I'm kind of understanding. So, my candidate variable, okay, and then while candidate is less than my number. So, candidate is basically my prime numbers. And then boolean is prime. Okay, I might ask that question to Sensei. Let's go with Control A, Control C. Whoops. Okay, get Sensei / ChatGPT here. Okay, and then let me paste it, go with Shift, Enter, and say, Sensei, I wrote this code about 5 times, ... Although I have a few questions now, ... The first question is that what's the use of the candidate variable? Is it the prime numbers question mark? And secondly, can you explain the use of the I variable as well, question mark? Go back to India, please. Honestly, I've never been to India, but although I am pretty excited to like visit there someday in the future, I'll definitely visit India someday, and then I might stream myself there. That's gonna be an IRL stream. Okay, yes, Vivek, you're totally thinking like a true code warrior. Let's break this down. Candidate variable. Think of candidate as the number you're currently testing to see if it's prime. It's not automatically a prime number. It starts at 2 and goes up to the user's input number only if it passes the inner divisibility test. Okay, does it get printed as a prime number? In other words, candidate equals to the number under trial. I variable. I is used inside the inner loop to test divisibility of the candidate. You start I equals to 2 because I is trivial. Everything inside, everything is divisible by 1. The inner loop checks candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. If true, candidate is divisible by something other than 1 and itself, not prime. Okay, I see I is incremented I plus plus each time you check all numbers from 2 to candidate minus 1. Once a divisor is found, reset is prime to be equal to false and break. No need to check further. Visualize it like this. Candidate equals 5 testing number. I2 check 5 modulus 2, not 0. Oh, I see. Okay. Candidate 5 testing number. I2 5 modulus 2 not divisible. No divisors, print 5 as prime. Oh, that actually makes sense. Candidate moves up to the process, repeats until we hit the user input. Okay, let me say, since say in that case, why do we need the num variable? Okay, let's see, why do we need a num variable? Now we're thinking, Vivek. Good, the number variable is simply the limit, the maximum number the user wants to check for primes. Candidate loops from 2 up to number. Without number, your program wouldn't know when to stop. Think of number as the battlefield's endpoint. Candidate is the soldier testing each position. Okay, candidate loop from number. Once candidate is greater than number, the okay. Once candidate is greater than the number, battle is over, the loop stops. In short, numbers tells the program how far to hunt. Candidate is the current number under the inspection. I is the divisor tester. Okay, there we go. I just had to ask these questions. So, the reason I go with my candidate, so while candidate is less than or equal to number, is to check. My candidate checks if my number is prime. My initial number sets a limit. So if my candidate goes above my actual number, because I do increase it by 1 every time, if my candidate goes above my number, the loop stops working at all. There we go. That makes more sense. I just need to do more practice questions now. Honestly, guys, I might end the stream in like, I don't know, about 30 to 20 minutes, because I do got to study for another exam that's coming up from my college. That said, let me say, sensei, ... I think I understand that. Can I get another question exactly the same as this question? Question mark. Guys, I think I understand how this works now. Yes, Vivek, finally your brain is starting to click into the war mode. Here's your next prime loop challenge. Simple principle, slight twister. Write a program that asks the user for 2 numbers, A and B. Okay. A less than or equal to B. Use while loops to print all prime numbers between A and B. Inclusive. Print each prime number on a new line. Remember, candidate now starts as A instead of 2. Everything else inside inner loop, I divisibility. Okay, I think I understand, guys. I think I understand. Let's go with the control A, delete the whole thing. Okay, let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces and IO stream. Let me include IO stream. And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, a pair of curly braces. And then let me go ahead and add a bunch of spaces. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and ask the user for 2 numbers this time. First is going to be A, second is going to be B. So I'll go with integer A equals to... Actually, I'll just go with integer A and integer B. There we go. Next up, I'll go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something like enter number A. Okay, enter number A. I'll end that with a semicolon and then go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my variable A. And then I'll go with another standard console output. Honestly, before that, I might actually add another insertion operator of a / new line. There we go. And then I'll add another standard console output with an insertion operator. Can't I add an insertion operator here? Okay, in that case, I'll go with a standard console output of a standard new line, actually end line. There we go. And then I'll add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying enter number B. Okay, enter number B. There we go. Okay, I will be ending that with a semicolon and then adding a standard console input with an extraction operator of my variable B. Alright, perfect. These asks my numbers. So my candidate is A and my regular number is b. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add a while loop. So while, let's say, okay, so while my candidate is less than or equal to my number, so while a is less than or equal to b, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and create two variables. First is going to be an integer of I, which is going to be set to 2 by default. This is basically going to check, this is going to check my, if my number is divisible by itself or like -1. And then I'll go with a boolean variable, which is going to be equal to, let's say, true by default. And then I create a boolean of is prime. There we go, which is going to be set to true by default. I will be ending that with a semicolon, and then I'll add a while loop. So while, let's say, while my I is less than my, let's go with candidate. My candidate is my number a. Excuse me guys, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add something. Let's see. While I is less than or equal to a, I'll go with a if statement. If a pair of parentheses, let me add a condition. If my, this is going to be I, not 1. I keep misplacing i's with 1s. So if my, let's say, candidate, or if my I modulus my candidate, which is a, is equal to 0, that means my number is not prime. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add something like my is prime boolean variable is going to be set to false. There we go. And then outside my if statement, I'll increment I by 1, which means I'll increase my I variable by 1. And outside my inner loop, I'll go with an if statement checking if my number is prime. I'll go with if is prime. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. If my number is prime, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be checking if my number is prime. This is going to be my a. Okay, my candidate variable with another insertion operator of a / new line. I'll end that with a semicolon. And then outside my while loop, I'll go with my a++. I'll increase my a by 1 every single time until it's not either less than or equal to b. Once my number a is less than or equal to my number b, my loop stops. Okay, I'm trying to understand this, guys. That actually makes so much sense. Already mic testing. Okay, yeah, guys, my my OBS crashed again. Okay, with that said, let me go with a Control S, save the code if I were to run the command. Okay, it says enter a number. I'll go with something like 2. Okay, it just says 2. Where's my enter second number? Okay, I went with a standard console output. This is going to be a number. Okay, that's my standard console output. Where's my second standard console output? Of my standard console output, enter a number, standard console input with an extraction operator of my number b. Let me run the command again. Okay, this is going to be, let's say, 10. Okay, this gives me the prime numbers of 10. I want it between both my numbers. If I modulus a equals to 0, hold up, let me go with the control C real quick. Guys, did I understand the concept wrong? I feel I got it correct. Let me paste it, go with shift enter. Let me say, sensei, I get prime numbers, although I still feel like I messed up, question mark. Did I mess up? It feels correctly wrong for some reason. Yes, Vivek, you're close, but you left some logic landmines. Look carefully. If I modulus a is equal to 0, this is backwards. You want to check if the candidate a is divisible by I, not the other way around. Okay. Other notes. Everything else is mostly correct. Outer loop candidate. Oh, okay. So I Okay, so there was like this small logic error. I don't check if my I modulus my candidate is equal to 0. I check if my candidate, okay, modulus I is equal to 0. There we go. If I were to go with the control S right now and run the command. Okay, so it says enter number 1. I'll go with something like 2. Enter number B. I'll go with something like 100. Okay, it works. Although I don't take credit, guys, because I did get help for this last part. Honestly, I might do a few more questions. Let me copy that, get /ChatGPT here. Let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, can I do, actually, can I get another question mark? I feel like I'm starting to get a gist of it. I just need more practice. Okay, guys, I feel like I'm getting a gist of it. Yes, Vivek, I can feel your core muscles flexing. Here's your next prime loop challenge. Same mechanics, slightly more insane. Write a program that asks the user to enter a number n, uses while loop to print all prime numbers, okay, less than n in reverse order. Okay, start from n minus 1 down to 2. Print each line on a new line. Remember, candidate now counts down, not up. Okay, that shouldn't be that hard. Inner loop still checks divisibility. Use is flag. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard, guys. Let's go with the control and delete the whole thing. Let me start off by including IO stream, a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, and then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. And then I will go with a pair of curly braces, maybe a bunch of spaces. And then let me go ahead and typecast my number function to be an integer. I'll go with a integer number variable. Okay, next up I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like enter a number. I'll end that with a semicolon. Okay, and then I add another standard console. This time I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I'm going to be extracting my number. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a candidate variable. I'll go with integer candidate. This is going to be set to 2. The candidate counts backwards this time. Okay, I think the logic should be same. I'll go with a while loop. So while a pair of parentheses, I'll go with while my candidate. Okay, while my candidate. Okay, this time, let's see. I actually, instead of going with candidate, I might go with while my number variable is, let's say, less than or equal to my candidate. Because I am going opposite, like backwards. Okay, this should make sense. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's add a few variables. The first variable that I'm going to be adding could be something like a I variable. So I'll go with integer I. I'll set that equal to 2. And then I'll go with a boolean variable that is called is prime. I'll set that equal to true initially. So this variable is going to check if a number is prime. Excuse me, guys. Okay, next up. Inside my while loop, I'll create an inner while loop. So I'll go with another while loop. So let's say while okay, so this time I'm checking. So I could check if my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. So I can go with my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0. If that does happen, it is considered to be a prime. Actually, this should go inside of my if. Okay, if a pair of parentheses. You copy that, delete that, paste that here. Okay, instead I'll go here and type if my candidate is less than my I. Okay, so while my candidate is less than my I. Okay, did the less than I make sense? Okay, while my candidate, actually, while my I is less than candidate. Okay, let me delete that part and go with I. While my I is less than candidate. There we go. If my candidate modulus 1 equals to 0, if that does happen, I'll go with my is prime variable, so that equals to false. That means that number is not prime. This is going to be I. And then outside my if statement, I'll go with I plus plus, I'll increment I by 1. Okay, and since I'm checking with my candidate should decrease by 1. Okay, so I could go outside my inner loop and get another if statement. If prime, if is prime, if my number is prime, I'm going to be adding a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, this is going to be saying something like, okay, so now I need my candidate to be printed backwards. Let's see. So how do I print my candidate backwards? Let's see. Okay, there are like two ways. Firstly, if there's like a reverse function, the second way could be, here's my candidate. I check if my number is less than or equal to my candidate. That part wouldn't still make sense. Let's go with if my candidate is less than or equal to my number. Okay, integer I. I could use recursion to go backwards. I don't remember recursion. I need to work more on recursion. Huh. Okay, I'll go with my candidate with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, and then outside of my initial while loop, I'll go with my candidate. This time, I could try going with minus minus. Plus plus increases it by 1 every time. Oh, hold up. I could set my candidate to be equal to my number. Wait, actually that's genius. Okay, candidate equals to my number. And then my candidate decreases by 1 every single time. Okay, let me go ahead and return 0. If I were to Control S, copy the code and run the command, enter a number, let's go with something like 10. Guys, I'll hit the infinite recursion error. Don't I have like a base case? While my candidate is less than or equal to number. Did I need a base case? I forgot to add a break, guys. Hold up, this might just be... Okay, let's go with what are you doing? Honestly, I'm trying to learn the basics of C++ because I did start, like, I was done with my Python for 100-day series like 13 days-ish ago. And then I started another series where I started another series called Programming for 250 days, where my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI/artificial intelligence in it. And since I am making a game, I thought C++ would be the best language to learn. So out of the 250 days, I'm going to be spending a good chunk, 100 days, making a game in general. Okay, how did it go, Joe? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, if I were to go with Control S and run the command now, enter a number. I'll go with something like 10. Guys, that looks like an infinite recursion error. Let's go with Control A, Control C, copy that. Before that, I do want to check what happens if I go with plus plus. Okay, if I run the command again, I'll go with enter a number 10. Okay, that doesn't work. Minus minus does make sense. Okay, let's go with a Control C, copy that, get sensei/chatgpt here. Okay, and guys, I might have to end the stream soon because I do got like a lot of college homework to do, like to get done. That's it, let me say, sensei, I feel like I messed up, ... question mark. Haha, Vivek, you just tried to reverse a loop, but you didn't set the outer while, but you set the outer while loop wrong. Look at this. While candidate is less than or equal to number, candidate starts at number. Okay, and you want to count down, candidate is less than or equal to number will always be true at the start. Infinite loop equals to number greater than or equal to 1 you need, while candidate is greater than or equal to 2. Everything else in inner loop divisible is fine. Wait, was that like it? Just a small mistake? Let me try fixing that. Go with Control S. If I run the command, enter number 10. Okay, that doesn't honestly print anything. Where are you from? I'm currently in the United States. Okay, minus minus. Hey, how are you learning from ChatGPT? What's your first prompt? Your first prompt? Honestly, I don't think I have like a specific prompt when it comes to ChatGPT/Sensei. I just like give the topic that I want to cover. Before that, I asked ChatGPT/Sensei for a roadmap that you guys could like ask me for that roadmap on my Discord server. I can like DM it to you guys. That said, I just give the roadmap and then I say today I want to cover while loops and I do a bunch of practice questions. Alrighty, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, guys, yeah, my OBS crashed again. Yeah, this is not my Wi-Fi. You guys can't tell me my OBS crashing is my Wi-Fi. That's definitely my device. Okay, with that said, listen, Vivek. Here's what I want to tell them. Make it impactful. Today we went full warrior mode with C++, while loops and prime numbers. Don't worry if you struggle. Every line of code you break or fix makes you stronger. Practice off stream, master it, and next time we level up even harder. Throw in some energy, flex that victory attitude, and leave them hungry for the next stream. And remember, your journey doesn't need chat or your journey doesn't need chat or help to prove it. Tonight, you did, guys. It's not night, by the way. It's like 4:14 p.m. That said, tonight you did good, but the real glory comes from practice off stream. Hugs and head pats for making it through the best of the stream, guys. That did make me blush. That said, let me go to my main camera real quick. Right there. Alrighty guys, basically that was pretty much it for the stream, and I do apologize for the inconvenience because my stream was lagging a lot and like I couldn't stream horizontally today. I couldn't stream like on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. That said, if you guys still enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Liking helps with my algorithm, sharing makes me smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I can't even say I started multi-streaming on like Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. But once I get my actual PC, I will be making a video like a short showing you guys on how I build that PC. That said, if you guys enjoy my content, haven't followed me on Twitch and Kick yet, make sure to follow me on Twitch and Kick. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube and also join the Discord server. Let me actually give you guys the link real quick. To get the link, you guys can like type exclamation Discord on chat. That gets the link of it. That said, I'll catch you guys on the next live stream or video. Peace. Actually, I did it wrong. I did it with the wrong hand. I'll catch you guys on the next live stream or video. Peace. Okay, perfect. Let me go.